Bubble. I was able to fight against Master Terumi Mei? Onoki. This is really surprising. It seems that Kirigakure is really going to change hands. Deidara. Isn't this obvious? Even if this guy named Bubble is not good, Naruto is still there. Terumi Mei. Curious defense, actually used bubbles to dissolve my appearance? Konkuro. This is the same as Gaara's sand, so it's an absolute defense, right? Kakashi. It looks like a defense against liquid-type escapism such as water style. Kakuzu. It looks like it has lower defense than One Tail, but it's definitely fishy for water style's defense. Scorpion. After all, it is the defensive ability of the target. What? Terumi Mei looked very surprised. Afterwards, she immediately used another blood succession boundary power, boil style. But he was still helpless against the bubble defense in front of Bubble. The weapon with corrosive power spewed out was absorbed by the bubble, completely losing its effect. This time, Terumi Mei's complexion completely darkened. Naruto said impatiently, "Don't waste time, use all your strength. Only when you show absolute strength, they will surrender at your feet." As soon as Bubble heard it, he didn't hesitate anymore, and immediately used his strongest power zone. Beastization. The gigantic chakra suddenly swelled and gradually turned into the form of 6 tails. But it is different from the usual 6 tails. The beast-like foam tail of 6 tails is shining white as a whole, with a strong sense of oppression. This 6 tails gives me a strong sense of threat. Terumi Mei frowned. Afterwards, Bubble immediately displayed its ability. A large number of bubbles emerged from his body, quickly covering everyone's sight. These bubbles may seem fragile, but they are shurikens. No other ninja tool could pierce it at all. Once touched by the bubble, people will be immediately absorbed and trapped, unable to escape. Over time, it will be suffocated and comatose until death. Certainly. Bubbles aren't here to kill. So all those comatose ninjas were put down by him. Damn. What are these bubbles? Terumi Mei did not escape either, trapped in the bubble. Several struggles were useless, and finally Terumi Mei also fell into a coma under suffocation. Finally, all the ninjas who came were all unconscious on the ground. Looking at this state, Naruto knew that he didn't need to worry about the next thing. It seems that the things here can be left to you. I have other places to go. The foam that removed the tailed beast was still looking at his hands in disbelief. He never imagined that he had such a powerful force. Even Kirigakure's genius, Terumi Mei, was defeated by herself. This time, the confidence of the bubble is more sufficient. Hearing Naruto's words, he immediately nodded and said, "Don't worry, leave this to me, and I will definitely change Kirigakure." Naruto nodded and said, "Remember, we're doing this for the peace of the entire world. For this reason, even if some sacrifices are made, it is inevitable." Bubble nodded solemnly. "I see. Naruto leaves in peace. But I am a little worried about Sanagakure's situation. After all, Gaara does not use chakra mode. He worries about Sanagakure's ninjas uniting against Gaara. Gaara's death is a small matter, but if One Tail Shukaku is killed, it will take years for the tail beast to be resurrected. Naruto doesn't want to waste too much time on things that can be done now." However, on the way, he heard the change in Sanagakure. Gaara became the 5th Kazekage, brutally killed some old diehards in the village, and promoted young people to become the backbone of the village. Hearing this, Naruto continued to go to the Land of Earth with peace of mind. In the Land of Earth, there are 2 Jinchuriki. 4 tails and 5 tails, but Naruto's target is the 4 tails Jinchuriki. Because 5 tails Jinchuriki belonged to Onogi, it was difficult to instigate rebellion. But 4 tails Jinchuriki Lao Z, who disagrees with Onoki, is obviously a very qualified candidate. These are the information Naruto got from Aike. Although he doesn't know where Aike got the information from, Naruto undoubtedly trusts Aike absolutely. The current Lao Z is a wandering monk, and there is a high probability that he is somewhere in the Land of Earth. So Naruto has to find Lao Z's whereabouts first. It took half a month. Naruto finally found Lao Z. So, Naruto began to persuade Lao Z. But although Lao Z disagrees with Onogi's ideas, he doesn't want to fight against Onoki because of this, and even become Iwagakure's Tianying. In desperation, Naruto could only repeat the method used on Bubble. First, physical anesthesia, and then cooperate with the tailed beast in Lao Z's body, which made Lao Z's mood shake after empathizing with the tailed beast's memory. With shaking, the rest will be fine. In Naruto's mouth that can speak to the dead, there is no one he can't speak. Therefore, Lao Zi agreed to Naruto's request logically. In order to increase the success rate, and also to let Lao Zi deter the whole Iwagakure people before Naruto left. Naruto first taught the old purple-tailed beast chakra mode. This is not the same as borrowing chakra from the tailed beast and going half-tailed beast. The tailed beast chakra mode is to fuse its own chakra with the tailed beast's chakra to create a more powerful chakra. This is reflected very well in the body of the bubble. Obviously it was only a bubble of Jonin's strength, but he was able to defeat Terumi Mei, who mastered 2 special escapisms with the tailed beast chakra mode. After Lao Zi mastered the tailed beast chakra mode, Naruto brought Lao Zi to find Iwagakure. It was Lao Zi against Onoki, while Naruto held off 5 tails Jinchuriki Han. In the end, with the powerful power of the tailed beast chakra mode, Lao Zi barely beat Onoki, who flashed his waist. Just when Lao Zi was hesitating whether to let Onoki go, Naruto came over decisively. Don't hesitate at this time. His existence will hinder your rule, and he has the capital to threaten you. Don't forget our purpose, we are the ones who want to change the entire ninja world. Naruto left Iwagakure with cold words. Let Lao Zi handle the rest of the matter. Iwagakure has no one who can fight against Lao Zi. Haitu. Damn guy, you dared to kill my grandfather. The most important thing is that I didn't appear on stage. Huang too. It seems that what you care about is the back. But Ape didn't come out. Why did you come out? Onoki. Grandpa, I'm so sad, I didn't expect that my good granddaughter doesn't care much about me, woo woo woo. Grandma Chio. Don't be disgusting. Listening to it gives me goosebumps. Old Z. I never thought that this kind of power could resist Onoki's dust escape. Although it can't be confronted head-on, and it's still Onoki's back, but it's not bad. Bubble. The point is to communicate with the tailed beast, but I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if it's possible. Kakashi. I advise you not to. The tailed beasts themselves are always in anger. Even if you seem to get along well with them, it is impossible to really reconcile with them. Tsunade. Indeed, you guys in the video are able to succeed because of the support of Naruto. In reality, if you do this, you will be easily swallowed by the huge emotions of the tailed beast. Orochimaru. The tailed beast chakra is really easy to use. It seems that it is necessary to take it over and study it. Jiraiya. Orochimaru. What conspiracy are you up to? But everyone is staring at you. You can't succeed. Deidara. Jinchuriki, be careful, the evil uncle is after you. When I left Iwagakure and was about to go to the land of thunder. On the way, Naruto met a person blocking the way. The man's face was covered with small black sticks, piercing his nose and ears. Very weird. What is even more strange is that this person's eyes turned out to be in circles. Unbeknownst to Naruto, this is the eye of the Sage of Six Paths, Rinnegan. The person who stopped Naruto was the leader of the Akatsuki organization, the puppet of Nagato's actions outside, Pen. Naruto looked at him with a frown. Who are you? Why are you blocking my way? Pain looked at Naruto indifferently and said. Your actions have seriously threatened my plans. I can't let you go on. 9 Tails Jinchuriki. Although the timing is not right, let's take the tail beast in your body first. With that said, Pain opened his hand to attack. But Naruto quickly sensed the important message in Pain's words. You mean recycling tailed beasts? Are you the Akatsuki organization that Orochimaru mentioned? Pain put down his hand and said coldly. The traitor should have been eliminated a long time ago, but I didn't expect him to leak information about the organization. Naruto said immediately. I think we shouldn't be enemies because our interests are the same. Pain froze for a moment, then said. Impossible. Our Akatsuki organization is to seize the power of the tail beast and unify the ninja world. But Naruto said. But what I want to do is to use the power of Jinchuriki to unify the entire ninjutsu. There is no need for you to spend a lot of time to collect tailed beasts, otherwise you will be hostile by the entire ninja world. Like me, reaching a cooperation with the tailed beasts and using the powerful power of the tailed beasts to unify the ninja world is the fastest way. Pain hesitated for a moment and said decisively. Impossible. How can it be possible to unify the ninja world with only the power of the tailed beast? Naruto looked up and said. Then I'll let you see for yourself, the real power zone of the tailed beast. Swish. Naruto transformed in a second, and his whole body glowed golden. Pain was stunned when he saw Naruto turned into a tailed beast chakra mode. He could feel the powerful oppressive force that Naruto brought to him. But Pain is confident that his strength will not lose to Naruto. If the tail beast chakra that Naruto said could not even defeat him, then what Naruto said about relying on the power of Jinchuriki to unify the ninja world is undoubtedly a fantasy. Shenluo Tianzheng. A violent thrust erupted, and immediately pushed Naruto, who was sprinting over. Facing the irresistible thrust, Naruto was very surprised. What kind of power is this? Boom! Naruto slammed into a tree trunk heavily, directly breaking the 100-meter-high tree. But Naruto didn't have any injuries on his body. Under the Nine Tails chakra mode, Naruto's ability to resist blows, recovery ability, etc. are directly maxed out. The usual injuries couldn't bother him at all. Is it only to this extent? Naruto continued to charge up, but this time, the chicken thief separated the shadow clone to attack from both sides. He did this to test the attack range of the opponent's ninjutsu. However, Pain did not use the same trick this time. Instead, he opened his hands and faced the shadow clone and Naruto's body at the same time. Universal pull. Naruto immediately felt that his body was out of control, and flew straight towards Pain. Naruto was startled at first, and then immediately condensed a wind-style spiral shuriken in his hand with the help of the opponent's suction. A piercing buzzing sound suddenly appeared, with a strong sense of oppression. Pain immediately felt a strong threat, so he decisively resorted to a new move. Sealing technique absorption. A transparent barrier appeared on Pain's body. The spiral shuriken thrown by Naruto landed on the barrier and disappeared without a trace. What? Naruto was taken aback, and finally realized that the enemy in front of him was the most difficult opponent he had ever encountered. The power of Pain's moves can't pose a threat to Naruto. But all kinds of disturbing moves made it difficult for Naruto's attack to be effective. Seeing his own ninjutsu being absorbed, although he still doesn't know the specific principle, Naruto also knows that he can't use ninjutsu casually. Once absorbed by the opponent's shield, it will only waste your chakra out of thin air. Although, with the support of Nine Tails, there is basically no possibility of running out of Naruto's chakra. Very powerful ninjutsu, even if I am hit head-on, I'm afraid it will be difficult to survive. But, as you can see, ninjutsu doesn't work for me. Pain said coldly. Naruto is also very calm. Since ninjutsu is useless, use taijutsu, multiple shadow clone technique. Swish, a large amount of white smoke appeared. When the white smoke dissipated, thousands of Naruto shares appeared out of nowhere. Pain frowned suddenly. This amount is dangerous. Through the battle just now, Pain has understood Naruto's strength. If Naruto was allowed to get close, he would not be able to absorb the kind of ninjutsu released just now. And with so many shadow clone attacking in batches, neither his Shenluo Tianzheng nor Universal Pull can completely eliminate the target. So, right now Pain has only one move available. Super Shenluo Tianzheng. Pain jumped up suddenly, and then opened the court. Immediately, an incomparably powerful thrust spread rapidly. Even the ground couldn't stop this thrust, forming a huge circular crater, which continued to spread. What? Naruto's expression changed, and he retreated quickly. And those shadow clones were touched by that thrust, and immediately turned into white smoke and disappeared. Others reacted quickly, and those who were a little further away retreated one after another, staying away from Pain's attack range. Finally, Pain created a large pit on the ground with a diameter of more than 3 kilometers and a depth of hundreds of meters. And the number of Naruto's shadow clone also dropped sharply, leaving only dozens of them. It's so powerful. But this kind of move must consume a lot of money, and you definitely can't use it continuously. Naruto said affirmatively. Pain did not deny, but said. It will be easy to deal with after the number is reduced. As he spoke, Pain made a casual move. Several black sticks quickly inserted into the shadow clone's body, exploding the shadow clone. What is that? The memory after the shadow clone exploded puzzled Naruto. The moment the black rod was inserted into the body, Naruto could feel that the flow of chakra in Shadow Clone's body was immediately greatly restricted. No matter what, that black stick must not be allowed to attack. Naruto made a judgment immediately. Afterwards, he led the other Shadow Clones to rush over quickly. And Pain also showed powerful physical skills, fighting with a large number of Shadow Clones rushing up. The black stick that Pain can conjure at any time has become his best weapon. The unstoppable black stick immediately wiped out the Shadow Clones one by one. However, the number of Shadow Clone is too much. After all, Pain is no match for 2 fists and 4 hands, and was soon bruised and swollen. Damn it, this guy's body is really strong. Naruto couldn't help but said. An ordinary guy would have passed out long ago after being beaten like this by me. No, it's going to be endless if you continue like this. It seems that I can only use the last move. Seeing that he couldn't attack for a long time, although he caused some injuries to Pain, Naruto's clone was almost exhausted. Although Naruto can continue to use Shadow Clone to fight, but it is certainly not possible to quickly determine the outcome. Moreover, Naruto is to show his fist. If they could pull this powerful guy in front of them into their camp, then their plan would obviously be easier to implement. Then, Naruto hesitated no longer. Used tailbeastization directly. Huge golden 9 tails suddenly appeared, and Pain was shocked by the huge oppressive force. What is this? It's completely different from other Jinchuriki transformations. Pain was surprised. This was a tailed beast he had never seen before. Other Jinchuriki's tailed beastization is to release the tailed beast in the body, and what appears is the appearance of the tailed beast itself. But Naruto, this is obviously an upgraded version of 9 tails. And this overwhelming sense of oppression immediately made Pain understand that the strength of the 9 tails in front of him is terrifying. Take my move. Naruto shouted, and the 9 tails immediately turned into fists, and together with his own 2 fists, they fell on Pain like a torrential rain. Shenluo Tianzheng. Pain fought hard, but this time his resistance was ineffective. Boom. After a brief stalemate, Pain was directly hit by Naruto's continuous attacks into the ground minister. After dozens of punches, Naruto stopped, and Pain, lying crooked and twisted in the deep pit, seemed to be dying. Oops. Naruto looked remorseful. I was thinking of pulling him into the group, but it turned out to be a bit too heavy. As he spoke, he shook his head regretfully, and at this time, Pain's limbs in the pit began to repair themselves strangely. It wasn't long before an intact Pain reappeared. It's just broken clothes that can't be restored. What's going on with your body? Naruto is taken aback. Pain said calmly. Don't panic, it's just that my body is special. I have seen your strength before. If other Jinchuriki have strength like yours, I can cooperate with you. Pain said calmly. As if the person who was seriously injured before was not him. Naruto hesitated and asked, is your physical injury really all right? Pain looked down and checked, then said, although there are many damages, it is still able to move. Let's talk about cooperation. Seeing that Pain persisted, Naruto stopped talking. Well, with your help, the next action will definitely be easier. Pain said. My original plan was to absorb the chakra of all tailed beasts, then resurrect the legendary 10 tails, and use the power of 10 tails to suppress the entire ninja world. But now, you've shown me the potential of Jinchuriki, and I'm willing to trust you in your plan. Naruto nodded and said, of the 5 major ninja villages, only Cloud Shinobi Village in the Land of Thunder has not yet been completed. As long as the Land of Thunder is also ruled by Jinchuriki, we can reform this ninja world. With your help, I believe this goal will be achieved soon. Pain nodded. Deidara. Good guy. Naruto persuaded Pain to let go of the hatred in his heart, and even sacrificed himself to revive those who were killed. Now it's better, 2 people are going to join forces. Who is there right now? Onoki. In this battle, the Kingdom of Thunder should simply surrender, there is no possibility of winning at all. 4th Raikage. HMPH. Who do you look down on? You can only know who wins and who loses after fighting. Tsunade. Don't be brave, Pain alone is not an opponent you can defeat. Orochimaru. Not necessarily. Pain is very resistant to ninjutsu. It can be said that the Seal can restrain all ninjutsu, but Raikage is best at body arts. With his speed, it may not be impossible to defeat Pain. Kakashi. No matter what, Naruto and Pain join forces, it is simply unimaginable, there is no rival between the two in this world. Uchiha Madara. HMPH. That means I didn't come back alive, otherwise these 2 people wouldn't be my match at all. Grandma Chio. You plan to come back to life, and your eyes are also here with Pain. A blind man without eyes wants to fight against these 2 people? It's a dream. Senju Hashirama. Madara's strength is still very strong, and even if he doesn't have eyes, it may not be impossible to suppress the 2 of them. Uchiha Fugaku. Madara-sama is the top powerhouse who can use Susanoo without relying on eyes. It's just 2 brats, it's nothing to worry about. Kakuzu. Although Uchiha Madara is known as the god of the ninja world, the strength of Naruto and Pain is also unfathomable. Pen. This is indeed a path that I have never imagined, but there is also a lack of conditions for me to associate it. After all, Naruto at this time cannot even communicate well with Nine Tails. Conan. This might be a path, but it is obviously not possible to go through it now. Naruto lifted the Nine Tails chakra mode, stared at Pen and said seriously. You said you were from the Akatsuki organization, right? Pain nodded. That's right, I'm the leader of the Akatsuki organization, Pain. Naruto continued. That being the case, based on the principle of good faith and cooperation, I have a piece of information to tell you. That is, in your organization, there is a spy from our Konoha. Pain frowned slightly and said, You mean Uchiha Itachi? Now he is the only one from Konoha in the organization. Naruto nodded and said, Although he is a spy sent by the village, I cannot agree with what he did in the village. Because he brutally killed all his own people. This is a mortal and unforgivable sin. No matter what reason he has, it is impossible for me to forgive him. Pain nodded and said, Then what are you going to do? Ming asked back. How will your organization deal with traitors? Pain said decisively. Naturally it will be resolved. Naruto said. Then what are we waiting for? Naruto followed Pain to the land of rain. All the members of the Akatsuki organization were also called back. Deidara and the others didn't know what was going on, and started yelling as soon as they got back to the base. What's going on? Why did you call us back all of a sudden? Kakuzu also looked very dissatisfied. I still have a lot of rewards to do, if it is a waste of time, be careful I will kill you. Hidan said with a nonchalant smile. Boss Kakuzu just accidentally let go of a prey, and now he's in a bad mood. Kakuzu gave him a cold look. Shut up, Hidan shrugged. Scorpion frowned slightly, looking at Naruto who appeared beside Pain. Who is this brat? Could it be that he is going to be a new member of the Akatsuki organization? Beside Pain, Conan already knew about Pain's cooperation with Naruto, and said coldly. You can see him as one of our own. Hoshigaki Kisame curiously asked Uchiha Itachi beside him. Itachi-san, his forehead protector is from Konoha, do you know him? Uchiha Itachi glanced at Naruto without any fluctuation in his eyes. Yes, Konoha's Nine Tails Jinchuriki. As soon as the words came out, the members of Akatsuki looked at Naruto in surprise. This guy is Konoha's Jinchuriki. Isn't the Jinchuriki the target of our hunting? How come they are our own all of a sudden? Or, is he actually the prey captured by the leader? But why hasn't he been restrained? And seeing that expressionless face, I feel very uncomfortable. Anyway, it's enough to seal the Nine Tails in this guy's body. When do we do it? As Naruto's identity was revealed, the Akatsuki organization immediately became a vegetable market. Several people chattered and looked at Naruto as if they wanted to eat Naruto alive. Naruto didn't care about that. It's just a bunch of clowns, not worth Naruto's fight. At this time, Pain, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke. Quiet. Pain's words seemed to have magical powers, and the others stopped talking immediately, waiting for Pain to give instructions. At the same time, they are ready to attack at any time. After complete silence, Pain continued. I asked you to come here this time because a serious discovery has been made within the Akatsuki organization. In our organization, there are actually spies lurking in from other ninja villages. Wow. Everyone in the Akatsuki organization was surprised. The eyes that looked at the others were suddenly full of guard. Kakuzu couldn't help but said, Who is the traitor? I will kill him with my own hands. When the word traitor is mentioned, Uchiha Itachi instinctively sensed something was wrong. When Pain's eyes fell on him, he knew that there was nothing wrong with his feelings. Swish. Others also saw, caught Pain's sight. The tail blade of the scorpion's puppet, Fei Luhu, rested on Uchiha Itachi's forehead. Hidan drew his bloody March sickle. Kakuzu lifted his cloak, revealing a body covered in stitches. Gonshi Gui Sha looked at this scene blankly. Quietly escaped into the ground. Deidara stuffed her hands into the pockets on her waist, her face full of excitement. I've been waiting a long time for this day. I'm going to blow you up with my art today. Uchiha Itachi was unmoved, but slowly set his eyes on Naruto. Have you betrayed the village? Naruto said lightly. It was you who betrayed the village. The current Konoha has undergone earth-shaking changes and cannot tolerate a beast like you who kills your own clan. I'm here because I've reached a deal with Pen. We will work together to unify the entire ninja world. Uchiha Itachi's eyes became dangerous. A dangerous existence like you will only bring more killings. I must eliminate you here today. Hoshigaki Kisame then retreated and unleashed his broadsword Samahata. It's really a pity, Itachi-san, I thought it would be interesting to partner with you. It seems that I have to regretfully kill you here. Uchiha Itachi didn't answer, his eyes were fixed on Naruto. Sanguyu's Sharingan quietly became Mangekyo Sharingan. In this case, Uchiha Itachi would naturally not use Tsukuyomi's ability. Although the duration of Tsukuyomi's illusion is short, but even for a short time, being in the crowd of these top masters unsuspectingly is an act of death. Moreover, Tsukuyomi only tortures the target at most, and cannot kill the target exactly. Wanting to kill Naruto, who is considered dangerous by Itachi, Uchiha Itachi has only one last choice. It was meant for Sasuke, but now there is no way. Susanoo. A huge red colossus appears, enveloping Uchiha Itachi. The others retreated one after another, watching the situation vigilantly. Pain raised his hand. Universal pull. Uchiha Itachi inside Susanoo felt the strong suction right away, but he was sucked in, and Susanoo was with him. Pain frowned, and immediately used another ability. Shenluo Tianzhong. Uchiha Itachi was pushed away again. Get out of the way. Deidara yelled frantically, and a clone appeared in front of him, but his appearance was very dull. This is one of my greatest masterpieces, just to make you die. Uchiha Itachi. Since being easily defeated by Uchiha Itachi using illusion, Deidara has been frantically researching ways to deal with Uchiha Itachi. And this ninjutsu called C4-point Garuda was specially prepared by Deidara. Garuda grew in size until it reached a height comparable to Uchiha Itachi's bust, Susanoo. Deidara retreated frantically to avoid being affected by his own bomb. Seeing this, the others retreated quickly. Cats. With Deidara's detonation, the whole battle broke out suddenly and violently. Akatsuki organizes all staff to deal with Uchiha Itachi alone. Although Uchiha Itachi is very strong, he is helpless in the face of the siege of the entire Akatsuki organization. The battle lasted for half a day. During this period, the Scorpion's Scarlet Amber was shattered, and a large number of puppets were also shattered and could no longer be used. Kakuzu's heart was shattered in two, Hidan was chopped into pieces and thrown aside, and Hoshigaki Kisame suffered some skin trauma. Pen Konan was unscathed. Deidara lost an arm. Naruto was unharmed. And Uchiha Itachi died in battle. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. I finally killed him, Deidara yelled frantically, applying madness. Scorpion's face was a little ugly. It actually destroyed so many of my puppets, it seems that I have to find some more. I will go with you. Kakuzu's face was also ugly. 2 of his hearts were broken, which means that he needs to find 2 more hearts corresponding to Chakra's attributes. Hoshigaki Kisame, with his upper body naked, looked at Uchiha Itachi's corpse with regret. Hidan yelled from the sidelines. Brother Kakuzu, come and help. I can't sew my body by myself. Brother Kakuzu? Deidara, ha ha ha, good death. Uchiha Fugaku. This is what happens to traitors, death to death. Orochimaru. It's really miserable, but it can't make people feel sorry. Kakashi. Well, I still can't figure out what Itachi is thinking. Jiraiya. A little guy who took the wrong path, it's a pity that he made a wrong decision with his strength, and he can only make up for it with his own life. Uchiha Madara. This kind of scum doesn't deserve to be called Uchiha at all. It's a disgrace to my Uchiha clan. Uchiha Hikari. You were so right, my ancestors. Terumi Mei. No one speaks for him. Anyway, I don't know how to speak. Onoki. This white-eyed wolf deserves what it does. 4th Raikage. Just dying like this is really cheap for him. If it is placed here with us, Jia Ding will let him live but not die. Tsunade. A traitor spurned by everyone, he dies when he dies, why discuss so much? After the battle, the entire base suffered a lot of damage. There are rubble and collapsed walls everywhere. And at this time, Ju, who had quietly disappeared before, came out, and in the future, the king of bands appeared with Uzumaki. The eyes under Obito's mask stared fiercely at Pain, furious at Pain's sudden action. Deidara saw Obito but came up and said loudly. Fly, you bastard. This is not a place for reserve players like you to come. Hurry up and get back. Obito was extremely angry at this time, he didn't want to continue his disguise at all, and said angrily. Shut up. Deidara was overwhelmed by Obito's momentum, opened his mouth and didn't speak. Obito looked at Pain and said coldly, What are you doing, Pen? Pain looked at Obito lightly and said, Plans change, I don't want to pursue the plan you offered. Uchiha Madara. The name seems to have magic. The eyes of everyone present suddenly changed. Said terribly. It seems that pain has betrayed us, Madara. Obito's eyes were full of killing intent. Looks like I'm going to reclaim your eyes today. Pen, no, it should be Nagato. The others watched Obito silently. Some people know Obito's identity, some people don't, like Deidara. They are all silently observing, it is clear. Huge disagreements arose within the Akatsuki organization. If it is not resolved, I am afraid that the existence of the Akatsuki organization itself will not be maintained. Pain didn't answer Obito's words, but turned to look at Naruto. This is the man I told you about. Naruto revealed the spies lurking in the Akatsuki organization. For the basis of cooperation, Pain also revealed the murderer who killed Naruto's parents in the first place, that is, under pressure. Certainly. Now Pen doesn't know Obito's true identity. All I know is that Obito is a mysterious person who calls himself Uchiha Madara and is code-named Afe. Naruto's face was extremely gloomy, and his hands were clenched into fists. The body trembled slightly because of the strong anger. Naruto's arrival must also tell the king. But in Obito's view, a teenager who is only 12 or 13 years old can't pose a threat at all, even Jinchuriki is the same. Jinchuriki of 9 tails, just take this opportunity to absorb the 9 tails in your body. Before you were hiding in Konoha village, I was still thinking about how to get the 9 tails from your body. Obito said darkly. Naruto was silent for a moment, then said through gritted teeth. You didn't refute, so you were really the murderer who killed my parents? Obito raised his head and said, so what? Boom. Before Obito could finish his sentence, the fist that suddenly appeared in his field of vision had already knocked him out. It was so sudden that Obito didn't even use Hollow's abilities. And Naruto still stood there calmly. That said, it wasn't Naruto who did it. At least not this Naruto. It was the shadow clone that Naruto set up in advance to hide everywhere. Unexpectedly, good results were achieved. The other shadow clones swarmed up and beat up Obito. Obito managed to escape the siege through Hollow's ability. But this round of attack also shattered the mask on Obito's face. Oh. Now we can know his true identity. Dried persimmon Kisame watched with interest. When Obito invited Hoshigaki Kisame, he once declared his family as Uchiha Madara. But Gonshi Guishong had doubts in his heart. After all, Uchiha Madara is really too old a character, and I am afraid that he is already a centenarian who has lived to this day. As the mask comes off, Obito's twisted visage is finally revealed. Sure enough, you're not Uchiha Madara. Pain said calmly, without any surprise. Conan said coldly. Pretending to be Uchiha Madara and wanting us to do things for you is too good of you. Naruto's pupils shrank because he had seen Dai Wang's face. It's on the desk in his Master Ake's office. There is a photo above. A young ninja with blonde hair, and below him are 4 boys and girls about his age. Ake said that the blonde ninja was his father. And the 4 young girls are his father's disciples. Obito, impressively served as minister to those 4 young girls. It's you. Why is that you? Naruto said through gritted teeth. Why did you kill my father? Isn't he your master? When Pain heard this, he immediately looked at Naruto. You know his identity? The others also looked at Naruto. Ju still said in a gloomy tone. Do you need my help? Obito said coldly. No, I'll take care of it myself. I was careless just now. Looking up slightly, Obito looked at Naruto and said. It seems that you know my identity. Where did you know that? Kakashi? Naruto gritted his teeth and said. Master Ape told me that you died in the war. He was so sentimental looking at the picture, and you're still alive and killing my parents. I will definitely kill you today, Obito snorted coldly. It turned out to be that guy Ake, an ordinary guy in the team, who has survived until now. Why? Why is he alive and not Lin? Forget it, they're a bunch of damn people. After I kill you I'll go back and kill Kakashi and Ake. Naruto roared angrily. Don't even think about it. With a flash of golden light, Naruto was instantly covered with a golden chakra raincoat. The same goes for other shadow clones. Hoshigaki Kisame couldn't help but said. Wow. What a strong chakra reaction, as this Jinchuriki. Kakuzu shook his head and said, I've seen a lot of Jinchuriki, but never a Jinchuriki like him. The difference is too big. Obito said in surprise. What is your attitude? It's not like Senju mode, and it's full of chakra with tailed beasts. Forget it, no matter what, it's over for you. Naruto said coldly. Can you solve it? Saying that, a huge Rasengan suddenly appeared in Naruto's hand. This is no ordinary Rasengan, nor is it a wind-style spiral shuriken. Rather, it is a massive Rasengan fused with a large number of tailed beast chakra. The power is very terrifying. Pain immediately sensed the power of this move. Conan, leave immediately, don't be affected. Conan is also not worried about Pain, because there are beasts like Pain who can summoning heavenly way Pain away. So Conan just flew away. The faces of the others also changed, and they hurried away. Subsequently, Naruto threw out the massive Rasengan in his hand. Boom! The huge power directly destroyed the base of the Akatsuki organization. Only a ruined wall remains. Among the ruins, Naruto gasped slightly. Even for him, one use of massive Rasengan would be slightly tiring. But in the smoke and dust of the ruins, Obito's voice came. The power is really good, but if you can't hit, a full is meaningless. Naruto snorted coldly and said, "Sounds so nice, why don't you come and beat me? It seems that your ability can't touch me when you dodge, right? That is to say, you can only choose one of attack and dodge at the same time." Obito didn't expect Naruto to see through his ability so quickly, and couldn't help curling his lips. "But as long as I keep dodging, I will be invincible. How do you beat me like this?" He wanted to shake Naruto with words. Facing an enemy that cannot be hit, it is useless to attack. But Naruto's will is extremely firm, and it cannot be shaken by a few words from Obito. "Since it doesn't work once, then I'll use it 10 times, and if it doesn't work 10 times, I'll use it 100 times, or 1,000 times, until I've beaten you to ashes." Multiple shadow clone technique. Moment. Obito is surrounded by countless Naruto clones. Then a massive Rasengan condensed in everyone's hands. Seeing this scene, Wang's face finally changed. Once or twice is fine. But if so many massive Rasengans are all smashed down, he may not be able to support it. Hollow has a time limit. It can only last up to 5 minutes at a time. Hollow will expire after 5 minutes. In other words, Naruto saw through the weakness of his ability immediately, and found the best attack method against him. That is a long-term large-scale attack method. This is the safest attack method, but not everyone can use it. After all, not just anyone can have a chakra as huge as Naruto. "Have you thought about your last words?" Naruto said coldly. Obito's eyes kept flickering, looking for an opportunity to escape. Breaking into the ground is clearly delusional. If these Rasengan come down again, the ground will definitely plummet hundreds of meters. He must not escape. At this time, the belt soil will not use Izanami. At this moment, he was really cornered. "Since there is no one, then go to that world and confess to my parents." Saying that, Naruto threw out the massive Rasengan in his hand viciously. It doesn't even need to hit the target. With the power of the massive Rasengan, just a brush to one side is enough to take a life. Not to mention so many massive Rasengan attacking at the same time. Boom boom boom. The explosion went on for a long, long time. Deidara couldn't help but said, "Does he like the art of explosions as much as I do?" Scorpion couldn't help but said, "Idiot, his strength is obviously far superior to yours." Kakuzu turned to look at Pain and said, "You said before that Shao's organization's plans are going to change. What are you going to do?" Pain watched the explosion in the distance and remained silent. Conan on the side spoke on his behalf. "We are going to cooperate with Jinchuriki, and you have also seen how powerful Jinchuriki is when it is fully exerted. We want to unite all the Jinchuriki, with their powerful strength, to eliminate war from the ninja world." Hidan said dissatisfied. "Doesn't that mean that there is no one to kill? Then I won't do it." Kakuzu was also dissatisfied. "Without war, there will be no more hatred, and the number of bounties will decrease, which is completely different from what we said before." Pain withdrew his gaze and looked down at the two of them. "So, are you planning to quit?" Feeling the indifference in Pain's eyes, everyone fell silent. Hidan still said, "Laozi joined you to kill people. So you let Laozi go for peace? It's delusional. Isn't that right, brother Kakuzu? Brother, why don't you say a word?" Dried Persimmon Kisame said with a smile. "I think he knows that those who know the current affairs are heroes, and this is why he can live from the war to the present." Scorpion looked indifferent. "As long as no one interrupts me to make my art, I don't care what happens in the ninja world." Hidan recalled, and suddenly swung the bloody March sickle in his hand. "What? Do you want to fight? Who is afraid of whom?" Pain held out his hand. Universal pull. Hidan immediately flew over uncontrollably, but Hidan quickly adjusted his balance and swung the scythe in his hand. But Pain dodged it with a simple short body, and then kicked Hidan high into the air with a roundabout kick. Then, Pen recognized a small ball towards the sky. Planetary devastation. The huge attraction immediately sucked up all the gravel and trees on the ground. Hidan is directly buried by these stones and so on. The others watched without saying a word, all shocked by Pain's move. Although Hidan's strength is not strong, it's just that his immortality is quite strange. But such an easy way to get rid of Hidan also made others realize how terrifying Pain's strength is. Now, who is for and who is against? The rest of you looked at me, I looked at you, and all shook their heads. Pain nodded. Very good, and at this time, the explosion over there also stopped. Out of curiosity, they rushed over one after another. Naruto's shadow clone has been automatically disarmed. In the center of the deep pit with a depth of hundreds of meters, a body was half buried, lifeless. Pain came to Naruto's side and stretched out his hand towards the pit. Universal pull. Immediately, that body was sucked up immediately. It's Obito. At this time, Obito has more air intake and less air output. The body suffered multiple serious injuries. Whole body comminuted fracture, 2 arms directly broken and comminuted. His eyes were blurred, and it was obvious that he was not far from death. Naruto looked at Obito and said, "It's still alive, life is really tough. Maybe it has something to do with tissues that don't belong to you. But now, you are bound to die. Anything else to say?" But at this moment, where does Obito still have the strength to speak? Even breathing took all his strength, Naruto said lightly. In that case, go to hell. Pooh. Naruto's palm pierced Obito's chest, holding the tattered heart in his hand. Obito's eyes finally dimmed. Deidara. Another good death. There is no reason for to live on this kind of human scum. Uchiha Fugaku. Good to kill. These traitors are not good to die. Uchiha Hikari. Good kill. Onoki. That's right. I saw Naruto forgive him in the last video. I couldn't believe it. This is what a normal person would do. Fourth Raikage. It is only right and proper to kill for life. Terumi Mei. Seeing Naruto forgive Obito at that time, I got goosebumps from nausea, but fortunately I was not disappointed this time. Good kill. Uchiha Madara. Good job, this kind of scum should be killed directly, so as not to leave future troubles. Senju Hashirama. Madara, can you say this? Isn't Obito carrying out the plan you arranged? Senju Tobirama. But Obito didn't do what Madara said at all, and even went against Madara's wishes and slaughtered the entire Uchiha clan. Tsunade. This guy Obito is born rebellious, and he deserves what he did. Orochimaru. That's weird too. You Obito want to resurrect someone else. Why don't you ask that person's wishes? And I have Impure World reincarnation here. Why don't you ask Lin to revive her and ask her personally? Obito. F*K. I forgot that there is such a method. Nohara Lin. I didn't expect you to do so many wrong things for me, which made me feel a deep sense of guilt. Stop now, Obito, there are aches outside. Obito is dead. Never disappeared. The cooperation between Naruto and Akatsuki officially begins. 4 of the 5 major countries are already under control. All that remains is the Land of Thunder. Naruto and Pen attack together. The Kingdom of Thunder fought hard, but 4th Raikage still lost to Naruto's powerful strength, and was killed by Naruto in front of all Cloud Shinobi. Killer Bee was furious and wanted revenge, but still can't beat Naruto. But Naruto couldn't instigate Killer Bee either. In the end, Naruto had no choice but to kill Killer Bee, and then supported the 2-tailed Jinchuriki from Wooden Golem to become the new Raikage. So far, the 5 great powers are all under the control of the Jinchuriki. After finishing what Aike told him, Naruto returned to the village. Took Hokage's place. On the speech to succeed Hokage, Naruto stood on a high platform, facing many Konoha shinobi followers. He expressed his opinion seriously. The war has caused huge losses to the entire ninja world. Interests and hatred drive people to fight continuously, which also leads to the emergence of orphans in the Great War. Even in Konoha, there are many war orphans. For example, I am not a war orphan, but I am also an orphan. But I am able to stand here now, relying on the idea of wanting to change everything. If you want to pursue peace, it is impossible to rely on mutual understanding, because the desire in people's hearts will drive people to fight, to plunder, to rob. So, we need to be powerful enough to deter everyone. Only in this way will they fear us and think about what will happen after the plunder. Only by relying on absolute power can we maintain long-term peace. The tailed beast is the representative of power. Now, the shadows of the 5 major countries are like me, Jinchuriki. With our powerful strength, we suppressed all the existences that wanted to provoke war and let peace come down. And I will also promise that this peace will never be broken before I die. When he finished his speech, there was thunderous applause from the audience. Immediately after taking over the position of Hokage, Naruto led the Jinchuriki of the other 4 major countries to sign a peace treaty. So far, the ninja world has restored a rare peace. Under the deterrence of Jinchuriki's powerful force, other small ninja villages did not dare to provoke war easily. The country of rain. It actually did. Pain stared at the rain screen with some shock in his eyes. Although he agreed with Naruto's approach, Pain did not dare to 100% confirm that it was feasible. He still couldn't believe it until the ninja world really restored peace, and it was real peace. Konan couldn't help but sigh. If Yahiko knows, she will be very happy. There will be no more wars in the land of rain. Pain was silent for a long time, then spoke slowly. Konan, I want to visit Konoha. Konan nodded and said. Okay, let's go then. But Pen said again. I said, I want to go and see. Now, Konan finally understood Pain's words, and looked at Pain in shock. However, your body cannot be separated from the ghetto statue's supplies, and you will die. Pain shook his head. What I wanted to do has been done. Time to go and see Yahiko. Let him be alone there for so many years, it's time to accompany him. Konan blushed instantly. After a few days, Konoha welcomes a special guest. Konan helped a man with a cloak to Konoha's ninja school. After asking a few times, they were in the office and saw Ake, who was busy. The 2 came to stand beside Ake. Ake stopped what he was doing, rubbed his eyebrows and said. I thought you came to the village to meet Naruto. I can understand even seeing Master Jiraiya. But why did you come to see me? Ake had already got the news when the 2 entered Konoha's range. The hood was lifted, revealing the skinny Nagato. Nagato said hoarsely. I just wanted to see what it was like to train Naruto to be that kind of teacher. He looked down at the lesson plans on Ake's desk, which were densely written with words. I can see that you are a very responsible person. If you could be born earlier, wouldn't peace come sooner? If someone could implement your idea early on. Ake raised his hand to stop Nagato from continuing. All of this is just your speculation. Maybe I was born early, or maybe I died in some obscure corner. Cherish everything you have now and don't give up easily. When Konan heard this, the circles of his eyes turned red. She bit her lip tightly to keep the eye oil from falling. Ake looked at Nagato's weak look and said, I can see that you have a will to die, maybe because you think you have fulfilled your ideal. However, don't think so absolutely about everything. This is just the beginning. How can you be sure that war will not come again? Nagato's expression froze. Have you got any news? Who is the enemy? Ake shook his head and said, I'm just talking about a hypothesis, and the probability of that hypothesis is high. After all, you should be very clear about how people's hearts are. Those crazy guys can do anything for their own desires. So, don't even think about dying. Your physical condition looks bad, but it's not necessarily impossible to treat. Go to Orochimaru, you should know him. He is in the village now, he should have a way to save you. After that, you can judge with your own eyes whether the peace in front of you can last for a long time. Konan looked at Nagato and opened his mouth to persuade Nagato. But when the words came to his lips, he didn't know what to say. Nagato's expression tightened, and then he said in relief. As expected, he is the one who taught Naruto, and what he said suddenly enlightened me. I'll go to Orochimaru, don't know if he can really restore my old body. After speaking, Nagato bowed to Ake, and then left with the help of Konan. Onoki. I always feel that Ake can speak better than Naruto. I used to have the will to die, but a few words immediately gave Nagato the fighting spirit. Roar. Grandma Chiyo. If you can't speak well, can you blacken that kind Naruto? Uchiha Madara. As expected of my brother, he is so outstanding in everything he does, and he is still pursuing peace in the ninja world as always. Senju Hashirama. Compared with Ake, we have no power, but we don't know how to use it. It's just too stupid. Senju Tobirama. Brother, if you used the tailed beasts you caught instead of distributing them to other ninja villages, we Konoha would have been able to unify the ninja world long ago. Orochimaru. I also can't figure out the operation of Shodai, it's really confusing. Tsunade. Grandpa is a big idiot, he doesn't even turn his head, otherwise he wouldn't lose so much money. Jiraiya. It's as if you've won a lot of money. Deidara. I dare to say this, I'm afraid I haven't been beaten before. Kakuzu. Ake's speaking skills are probably on par with Naruto, right? Scorpion. I think it is stronger than Naruto. Hoshigaki Kisame. Me too, after all, I was aggrieved watching the previous video, but I enjoyed watching this video very much. Hidan. I'm upset. Why didn't the two videos end well for me? Kakashi. Why don't you find the reason from yourself? How can a murderer like you be tolerated in a peaceful age? Might Guy. Incisive. Nagato finds Orochimaru. After helping Orochimaru with many experiments, Nagato returned to the land of rain with a healthy body. Then, Nagato witnessed this long peace with his eyes. After some years, Naruto has grown up and married Hinata and has 2 children. His daughter, Sunflower, is very fond of Naruto. But his son Boruto is very rebellious, which makes Naruto very dissatisfied. Usually busy with work, Naruto didn't pay much attention to it. But during a meeting with the 5 Kages, Boruto wanted to play a prank. This immediately irritated Naruto. Naruto directly arrested Boruto and put him in confinement. After a day and a night, Naruto brought Boruto out. Naruto said to Boruto seriously, "Don't do such boring things in the future, I don't have extra time to wipe your ass. If you want me to pay attention to you, then do what you can, instead of causing trouble for others." Boruto turned his face away and said nothing. Looking at this posture, Naruto knew that Boruto didn't listen to what he said. Then, he stood up and said to Boruto, "It seems that I am usually too gentle with you. Tomorrow I will show you the real cruelty, only in this way will you understand how rare peace is now." The next day, Naruto took Boruto away from the land of fire and came to a remote small country. This small country was just occupied by a group of rebels, who killed many civilians. Naruto and others have dispatched personnel to encircle and suppress. After all, Naruto promised to eliminate wars, so naturally this group of rebellious ninjas cannot be ignored. When Naruto arrived with Boruto, the people sent by the 5 great ninja villages were encircling and suppressing them. But the strength of Renren is not bad, and the battle between the two sides is very fierce. Every now and then someone gets hurt or even dies. Boruto stared wide-eyed, watching those fresh lives disappear in front of him. The huge impact made him tremble with fear. Then Naruto said seriously, "Do you understand? It is because of their sacrifice that we have the peace we have now. Don't let me see you doing those boring things again, understand? Otherwise, I will let you experience the cruelty of fighting for yourself." Boruto raised his head, looked at Naruto's unmoving eyes, and knew that what Naruto said was not a joke at all. Boruto swallowed hard, and said in a trembling voice, I see. From then on, Boruto studied conscientiously and did not do other troublesome things. It was several years later. Wrinkles had appeared on Naruto's cheeks. At this moment, he had a serious face and walked forward quickly. The target is directed at Konoha Hospital. After entering the hospital, under the leadership of the nurse, Naruto came to an advanced ward. There were not many people inside, only 2 people. One is lying down and the other is standing beside. "You came?" Orochimaru, who was standing, saw Naruto and said helplessly. "He didn't agree with my recommendation." Naruto's expression suddenly became heavy. He came to the bed and looked at Ake, who looked extremely weak. "Master Ake, why don't you listen to me?" Ake slowly opened his eyes and stretched out his hand tremblingly. Naruto grabbed it quickly. Ake smiled with difficulty and said, "Naruto, I'm already content. I'm just a normal guy. Unlike you, you can bring huge changes to the ninja world, but there are too many people like me. Don't waste time on me, try to maintain the status quo." Orochimaru shook his head helplessly, turned and left the ward. "I'll leave it to you here." Orochimaru walks away. The tears in Naruto's eyes could no longer be tolerated. Bang. With tears in his eyes, Naruto kneeled heavily on the ground. "In my life, being able to meet your guidance is the greatest luck in my life. You have cleared the confusion of the road ahead for me, so that I can avenge my revenge, and even lead the entire ninja world forward. It is because of your help that I can do this. Master Ake, thank you. In the next life, I still want to be your apprentice." A smile slowly formed on the corner of Ake's mouth. Subsequently, his hands hang down weakly, and the smile on the corner of his mouth froze. The picture of the entire video also gradually dimmed. The audience in the live broadcast room suddenly came back to their senses. The comparison video is over. Deidara. That's true. Master Ache always brings us surprises. Even if he doesn't have much power, he can still bring peace to the entire ninja world. Uchiha Madara. Ache's realm is far beyond ours. Senju Hashirama. If we had Ache at that time, I am afraid that so many tragedies would not happen in the future. Terumi Mei. The presence of Ache doesn't seem very obvious this time, but after careful study, I found that everything has the brand of Ache. Onoki. If it weren't for Ache, how could Naruto have such a big change, and how could Injiriki fight such a turnaround? Gaara. Perhaps, I need to communicate with Shuhei carefully. In fact, we are all victims. Citrate Yagura. Tailed beasts have always been used as weapons, but in fact the purpose of creating them by Sage of Six Paths is definitely not the case. Old Z. We are greedy, wanting to use the power of the tailed beast, without considering the feelings of the tailed beast at all. Killer Bee. Tailed beasts actually have good personalities, but the oppression over the years has made them very angry. Kakashi. We deprived the tailed beasts of their freedom, but we still hate the losses the tailed beasts caused us. Obviously we hurt them first. Fourth Raikage. It can only be said that the value of Ache is once again reflected. He can always bring us miracles in ways we didn't expect. Iwagakure, the land of earth. Onoki frowned thoughtfully. Kitu beside him asked curiously. Master Tsuchikage, what are you thinking? Onoki pondered for a moment and said, I'm wondering if it's possible to bring Uzumaki Naruto to our Iwagakure now. Judging from these two videos, Uzumaki Naruto's future potential is not low. Kaito scratched his head and said, what about Ache? Onoki waved his hand and said, Ache can only leave it to Haito and Wangtu to figure out a way. We can't help here, Kitu said immediately. That subordinate set out immediately and bring that Uzumaki Naruto back. When Onoki heard this, he immediately rolled his eyes. Are you an idiot? Go overboard like this and bring Naruto back? Are you all idiots like you and Konoha Shinobi? Aren't they defenseless? Kitu scratched his head in embarrassment. This. Onoki sighed and said, forget it. As long as you can get hold of Ache, you don't need to worry about Uzumaki Naruto or anything. The key is still Ache. I don't know how Ache is doing now. Kaito said honestly. Miss Haito is so confident, it should be fine, right? Onoki rolled his eyes again. This time he didn't even bother to talk. The whole office fell into silence. The land of the winds Sanagakure. After watching the video, Luo Sha glanced around, but did not find Gaara. Wait. Where did Gaara go? Grandma Chio rolled her eyes. Didn't you guys send Tamari out? Gaara and Kankuro passed together. Luo Sha immediately walked anxiously towards the door. No. No contact between Gaara and Ache. If Gaara is also blackened like this Uzumaki Naruto, I will definitely be killed by Gaara. You have also seen the power of the tailed beast chakra mode. That is simply not an existence that ordinary ninjas can fight against. Grandma Chio said coldly, if you want to die, go ahead. Luo Sha's hand was already holding the doorknob, and he stopped immediately when he heard this. What does Chio consultant mean? Have they already made contact? Grandma Chio shook her head and said, calm down and think about it. If you start now, can you catch Gaara before he makes contact with Ache? Luo Sha thought for a while, then shook her head regretfully. No, it's too late. Grandma Chio continued. That's it. If you are determined to chase after the past, in order to prevent Gaara from contacting Ache, you shoot under Ache's nose. What do you think will happen? Luo Sha imagined the scene described by Grandma Chio. He shot Gaara in front of Ache. Then, I saw Ache snap his fingers, and his body suddenly fell apart. Wow. Luo Sha woke up with a start, sweating profusely on his head. No, I can't go there, I will be killed. Grandma Chio nodded and said. It seems that you have understood. Shoot in front of Ache. If you stimulate Ache, your end will be the same as that guy named Otsutsuki Momoshiki, you will be killed instantly. Of course, it's also possible that Ache won't make a move, but do you dare to bet your life? Also, if Gaara comes into contact with Ache, it won't necessarily turn him black. After watching so many videos, I think Gaara's heart has changed a lot. On the contrary, you, as a father, have completely lost your qualifications. Luo Sha fell silent, and then sighed deeply. He said sadly. When I see Gaara, I always think of her face. She died in childbirth to leave Gaara, and I can never forgive Gaara. And I have high hopes for him, but after he became a Jinchuriki, he always ran away in the village, causing the village to suffer countless losses. Grandma Chio looked at Luo Sha indifferently. But you have never fulfilled the slightest responsibilities as a father, nor have you given him the slightest sense of security, and even wanted to use assassination to test his stability. Your behavior can only make Gaara's heart more unstable. How can this unstable state of mind suppress the tail beast in his body? I think you are crazy. Luo Sha was stunned and couldn't help muttering to himself. Is it my fault? Damn, it's obviously for the sake of the village. Grandma Chio sighed and said, as Cage, there is nothing wrong with thinking of the village. But, the method you chose is wrong. Luo Sha was silent, his eyes gradually lost focus. Grandma Chio withdrew her gaze, her eyes thoughtful. This little guy named Uzumaki Naruto also looks like an unfathomable guy. I don't know if he can be eradicated while he is still weak. No, Konoha must be prepared. The 2 videos tell everyone about Uzumaki Naruto's hidden experience. Although Konoha's people like to engage in internal strife, the positions of Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo are now in jeopardy. They certainly won't let any danger around Uzumaki Naruto. Forget it. Let's focus on Aike. Compared to Aike, Uzumaki Naruto is nothing. Grandma Chio withdrew her thoughts and focused on the live broadcast room. She has to keep an eye on the news in the live broadcast room, and once she finds something related to Aike, she will pay attention immediately. Kirigakure, the land of water. Terumi Mei stretched her waist, stretching her beautiful figure. Ching looked away and said with a slightly red cheek, "My lord, please pay attention to your image." Afterwards, Ching coughed lightly and said seriously, "My lord, do we have to do something about Uzumaki Naruto? After all, Uzumaki Naruto's strength is testified from the 2 videos. If he is allowed to grow, he may become the next existence to suppress the ninja world like Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama." Terumi Mei waved her hand and said, "Don't worry about that brat, as long as you get Aike, you don't need to be afraid of this kind of kid. The point is now on Aike, get it?" Ching bowed his head and said, "The subordinate understands, but if nothing is done." Terumi Mei frowned slightly. "I told you to leave it alone, don't you understand what I'm saying? And Konoha Darren is not a vegetarian. I also watched the video, will they give us a chance?" Ching suddenly said, "It's the subordinate who neglected 4. Thunder Country Cloud Shinobi Village." After watching the video, 4th Raikage yelled loudly. "This guy named Uzumaki Naruto is really nice. If he can improve the character of the bad guy, it's even better." Killer Bee said speechlessly, "Brother, he is from Konoha." 4th Raikage said loudly, "What does that matter? Anyway, with the character of that good old man, he will never attack other people in Ninja Village. There's no need to be afraid of that young man." When the others heard it, they immediately found that what 4th Raikage said was right. If no one else interfered to blacken Uzumaki Naruto is just going to be an overly nice old guy. This kind of good old man doesn't need to care at all, because he will definitely not do things like aggression. Instead, work hard to achieve peace in the ninja world. In other words, Uzumaki Naruto is a strong but easy to pinch soft persimmon. 4th Raikage saw through Naruto's essence at a glance, so he knew that Naruto's potential was strong, but he didn't have the slightest fear. Don't look at 4th Raikage as if his head is full of muscles, but he can become Raikage not just because of his strength. Although strength accounts for 90% of the weight. But the other 10% are other qualities that attract others. As for what? It's hard to go into details, I can only say that I understand everything. If you don't understand, you don't understand. After discussing Uzumaki Naruto, 4th Raikage immediately changed the topic. Didn't Mabui say he wanted to bring Aike back? Where is she now? Darui shrugged. According to the distance between us and Konoha, Azabui should have reached the border of Konoha by now. However, I am not particularly optimistic about whether the Mabui can do it. 4th Raikage was immediately dissatisfied. What are you talking about? Are you questioning your teammates at this critical moment? She helplessly covered her cheeks and said, Darui, if you don't want to talk, you don't have to say it, no one forces you to say these useless words. Darui shrank his head and hid behind Killer Bee, covering 4th Raikage's thorny eyes. HMPH. You don't even know where you are. I'd better come and ask myself. 4th Raikage snorted dissatisfied. She was stunned. Immediately his face changed drastically. Master Raikage, don't. But. It's too late. 4th Raikage. Mabui, what on earth do you do? Didn't you promise to bring Aike back with me? Where did you go now? Onoki. Damn 4th Raikage, you actually despicably used beauty tricks. I really underestimated you, I thought your brain was full of muscles. Terumi Mei. What? Another beautiful woman came to find Ake. No way. I can't just wait here. It's all because of a group of idiots who stopped me before, or I'll just go to work in the car. Black soil. Damn it. Don't come here. You Rihong. Little girl, give up, it is impossible for you to take Ake away. Mitarashi Anko. That's right, under the charm of us mature women, Ake will definitely surrender. Shikamaru. Wow, is a new round of husband-grabbing wars about to start? Who can give me some peanuts and melon seeds? I want to see a good show. Tooth. Add me one, little Sakura. I'm so confused, Ake is super handsome, but I'm too young now, I don't know if Ake can find. Ino. Wide forehead, go find your Sasuke, Ake-sama is already mine. Uchiha Madara. As expected of my brother, really popular. Senju Hashirama. Madara. Why did I hear your gnashing of teeth, did you? Orochimaru. I really want to join in the excitement, but I can't show my face casually now, after all, there are too many enemies. Tsunade. It turns out that you still have self-knowledge, which is really rare. Jiraiya. Ake. Don't go with others. I have the information of thousands of hot springs across the country. I know exactly when a beautiful lady will appear in it. Tianshin. There is pervert. Konoha, ninja school. Inside the classroom. Naruto looked down at his hands blankly. He never thought of it. In the two videos, his own strength will become so powerful. Usually compared to the second video of the video, the person named Ake is shining brightly. But this time, it seems that the owner of the second video is not Ake, but him. The angle of view is more on him, and Ake hides behind the scenes without being noticed by anyone. But everyone knows that Ake has done a lot of things, just changing Naruto, completely changed the future path, and found another way to restore peace to the ninja world. Naruto knows that Ake in the video is using himself. However, Naruto has to admit that Ake's purpose is to yearn for the good. We all hope that there will be no more sacrifices in this world, and that we can open our hands to embrace peace. Therefore, even if he realized that he was being used, Naruto couldn't get angry. By the way, that guy inside me. Naruto suddenly realized the 9 tails in his body, so he closed his eyes and concentrated on imagining. Sudden. He felt the air around him change and become damp. Naruto opened his eyes, and suddenly found that his position had become the sealed space. In front of him is a huge seal. Suddenly, in the darkness behind the seal, 2 scarlet lamps lit up. But that's not the lamp, it's the eyes of 9 tails. 9 tails approached slowly, revealing his huge head. Little ghost, I didn't expect you to come here on your own initiative. Naruto was a little surprised, looked at 9 tails and said. I thought you'd be even angrier, but you seem calm now. Etc. Naruto suddenly realized something. Can you see those videos too? 9 tails snorted coldly and said. Even the dead can see it, why can't I see it? I just don't want to talk usually. Watching all kinds of jokes made by you stupid humans makes me very happy to be honest. Naruto tentatively said cautiously. Then have you noticed that the future me and you will cooperate very well? 9 tails saw through Naruto's mind at a glance, and said. Give up, you haven't got my approval yet. You may be able to borrow my strength, but don't expect me to cooperate with you. Naruto's shoulders drooped limply. He thought he would be able to mingle with 9 tails and immediately gain the power in the video. It turned out that he was thinking too much, but now that he's here, Naruto doesn't intend to leave just like that. I didn't hold out much hope, but it still hurts me to be rejected by you. However, I'm not here just to see you, Naruto said, walking forward slowly. Then he raised his head and said to 9 tails. Could you please carry me up there? I haven't practiced stepping on a tree yet. 9 tails immediately understood what Naruto wanted to do, and just wanted to refuse. But after thinking about it, he stretched out his fingers to let Naruto stand up, and then lifted Naruto to the seal. Naruto stared blankly at the seal, his eyes gradually became moist. Subsequently, he stretched out his hand, put it on the seal, and clenched it tightly. After a brief hesitation, Naruto pulled hard. Snapped. A figure appeared suddenly, stopped Naruto's movement, and took him down. Tears flowed from Naruto's eyes immediately. I want to see you, father. The figure froze for a moment, then looked at Naruto with gentle eyes. Do you know my identity? It really surprised me. You've grown up, Naruto. Namikaze Minato looked at Naruto gently. Snort. 9 tails snorted lightly. Namikaze Minato turned his head in surprise, and saw a pair of extremely clear eyes without much hatred in them. This is totally different from the 9 tails that Namikaze knew. Then, Namikaze Minato turned around, looked at Naruto and said with relief. Looks like you get along well with 9 tails? I can rest assured that. Naruto took Namikaze's hand and stood up, tears blurred his vision, making him wipe frequently to see Namikaze's face clearly. Even though he's seen it many times on Hokage Rock and done a lot of mischief. But Naruto at that time didn't know that 4th Hokage Namikaze was his father. And now, as a child, Naruto saw his father for the first time, and he wanted to imprint his father's true appearance in his memory. It seems that you have been wronged a lot these years. Namikaze Minato's voice was extremely soft, and he reached out to wipe the tears on Naruto's cheek. This action shocked Naruto, and he looked up at Namikaze in a daze. This is, father. He is Uzumaki Naruto's father. He's no wild child without parents. His parents are the great 4th Hokage Namikaze Shimon and Uzumaki Kushina. Wait, father, wait a moment. Naruto suddenly ran to the seal in a panic, and said to 9 tails. Hey, do me one more favor. 9 tails froze for a moment, then showed a very reluctant expression. I do not want. Naruto clasped his hands together immediately. Please please. 9 tails frowned. Instinct made him refuse. But after seeing all of Naruto's future, how could he not have any special feelings for Naruto? Otherwise, he would not know what Naruto was going to do, but instead assisted Naruto to wake up the chakra body left by Namikaze's sect. Namikaze, who didn't know anything, scratched his cheek in embarrassment. As the body of chakra left by Namikaze Minato before his death, it will only appear when the conditions are right. So this Namikaze Minato doesn't know anything about the studio at all. Naturally, I don't know what's going on right now. Then, he saw that after Naruto and 9 tails messed around, a very familiar chakra suddenly appeared. This is Kushina? Namikaze Minato was extremely surprised. But soon relieved. How could Kushina not think of things he could think of? Namikaze Minato set conditions on the seal, and Kushina protected Naruto's soul at the last moment. The two use their own ways, even after death, they are still silently protecting Naruto. After awakening Kushina, 9 tails he immediately withdrew his hand and retracted into the depths of the seal. He didn't want to be chained by Kushina again. That taste is not good. Sensing Naruto's dangerous presence, Kushina's chakra body was instantly embarrassed. The target to be tied has stopped, she has no goals. Successful. Naruto shouted in surprise, and then said to 9 tails. Thank you, Kurama. You are not qualified to call me by that name now. 9 tails suddenly said dissatisfied. Is lousy a name that anyone can call? Although with Naruto's video, the names of the 9-tailed beasts have been made public. But 9 tails still persisted in his heart. I haven't even given permission yet. How can you call me by my name casually? Doesn't that make me feel bad? Naruto said with a smile. Sorry, but I will try my best to get your approval as soon as possible. Then, Naruto turned around and looked at his parents. The tears that had just stopped suddenly started to flow again. He opened his hands and stepped forward to hug the two of them. Father, mother, I really want to see you. Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina looked at each other with relieved smiles. They were originally to come out to help Naruto when he was in crisis. But now it seems that this is no longer necessary. That being the case, why not enjoy the rare family happiness? 9 tails watched silently in the dark, and couldn't help but sigh slightly. Ding. You have received the reward, please pay attention to check it. Ache silently checked his reward. As he expected, it is not a particularly powerful ability, but if played properly, the power is also extraordinary. After all, this is something comparable to Naruto's mouth. It is possible to change a person's mind just by the way he says it. Could there be a more heaven-defying ability than this? Of course there are, and there are many, but Ache doesn't mind having such an ability. But now there are more people around. If you want to test your ability, you need to choose your target carefully. Soon, Ache's eyes fell on Huang Shi. Well, this Mr. Wang Tu, isn't it? Huang Tu was startled. He didn't expect Ache to talk to him suddenly. The others were also taken aback, then looked at Ache and Huang Wang nervously. Once the situation is not right, they will immediately cut into the topic and terminate what may have happened. Ache stood in front of Wang Tu and said with a smile, "What is your excellency coming here for? This beautiful lady should be your excellency's daughter." Huang Tu nodded and said, "That's right, I have a mission to accompany my daughter this time." Ba 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 ba. I have 10 personal matters to deal with. Ache suddenly revealed a look of disapproval, and said, Your Excellency, forgive me for being nosy, but I think this young lady is not too young, and she is already able to make judgments about her own affairs. If you are still so worried, I think you are restricting this lady's personal freedom. In my opinion, it's better for you to go back first. I think this lady can handle everything. What do you think? Huang too instinctively wanted to shake his head. But Ake's words echoed in his mind, completely changing what he wanted to say. I didn't hold out much hope, but it still hurts me to be rejected by you. However, I'm not here just to see you, Naruto said, walking forward slowly. Then he raised his head and said to Nine Tails, Could you please carry me up there? I haven't practiced stepping on trees yet, so I can't climb up. Nine Tails immediately understood what Naruto wanted to do, and just wanted to refuse. But after thinking about it, he stretched out his fingers to let Naruto stand up, and then lifted Naruto to the seal. Naruto stared blankly at the seal, his eyes gradually became moist. Subsequently, he stretched out his hand, put it on the seal, and clenched it tightly. After a brief hesitation, Naruto pulled hard. Snapped. A figure appeared suddenly, stopped Naruto's movement, and took him down. Tears flowed from Naruto's eyes immediately. I want to see you, father. The figure froze for a moment, then looked at Naruto with gentle eyes. Do you know my identity? It really surprised me. You've grown up, Naruto. Namikaze Minato looked at Naruto gently. Humph. Nine Tails snorted lightly. Namikaze Minato turned his head in surprise, and saw a pair of extremely clear eyes without much hatred in them. This is totally different from the Nine Tails that Namikaze knew. Then, Namikaze Minato turned around, looked at Naruto and said with relief. Looks like you get along well with Nine Tails? I can rest assured that. Naruto took Namikaze Shimon's hand and stood up. Tears blurred his vision, making him frequently wipe his face trying to see Namikaze Shimon clearly. Even though he's seen it many times on Hokage Rock and done a lot of mischief. But Naruto at that time didn't know that 4th Hokage Namikaze was his father. And now, as a child, Naruto saw his father for the first time, and he wanted to imprint his father's true appearance in his memory. It seems that you have been wronged a lot these years. Namikaze Minato's voice was extremely soft, and he stretched out his hand to wipe the tears on Naruto's cheek. This action shocked Naruto, and he looked up at Namikaze in a daze. This is, father. He is Uzumaki Naruto's father. He's no wild child without parents. His parents are the great 4th Hokage Namikaze Shimon and Uzumaki Kushina. Wait, father, wait a moment. Naruto suddenly ran to the seal in a panic, and said to Nine Tails. Hey, do me one more favor. Nine Tails froze for a moment, and then showed a very reluctant expression. I do not want. Naruto clasped his hands together immediately. Please, please. Nine Tails frowned. Instinct made him refuse. But after seeing all of Naruto's future, how could he not have any special feelings for Naruto? Otherwise, he would not know what Naruto was going to do, but instead assisted Naruto to wake up the chakra body left by Namikaze's sect. Namikaze, who didn't know anything, scratched his cheek in embarrassment. As the body of chakra left by Namikaze Minato before his death, it will only appear when the conditions are right. So this Namikaze Minato doesn't know anything about the studio at all. Naturally, I don't know what's going on right now. Then, he saw that after Naruto and Nine Tails messed around, a very familiar chakra suddenly appeared. This is Kushina? Namikaze Minato was extremely surprised. But soon relieved. How could Shin Nai not think of things he could think of? Namikaze Minato set conditions on the seal, and Kushina protected Naruto's soul at the last moment. The two use their own ways, even after death, they are still silently protecting Naruto. After waking up Kushina, Nine Tails immediately withdrew his hands and retracted into the depths of the seal. He didn't want to be chained by Kushina again. That taste is not good. Sensing Naruto's dangerous presence, Kushina's chakra body was instantly embarrassed. The target to be tied has stopped, she has no goals. It worked. Naruto shouted in surprise, and then said to Nine Tails. Thank you, Kurama. You are not qualified to call me by that name now. Nine Tails suddenly said dissatisfied. Is lousy a name that anyone can call? Although with Naruto's video, the names of the nine-tailed beasts have been made public. But Nine Tails still persisted in his heart. I haven't even given permission yet. How can you call me by my name casually? Doesn't that make me feel bad? Naruto said with a smile. Sorry, but I will try my best to get your approval as soon as possible. Then, Naruto turned around and looked at his parents. The tears that had just stopped had a tendency to come out. He opened his hands and stepped forward to hug the two of them. Father, Mother, I really want to see you. Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina looked at each other with relieved smiles. They were originally to come out to help Naruto when he was in crisis. But now it seems that this is no longer necessary. That being the case, why can't we just enjoy the rare family happiness? Nine Tails watched silently in the dark, and couldn't help but sigh slightly. Ding. You have received the reward, please pay attention to check the receipt. Ache silently checked his reward. As he expected, it is not a particularly powerful ability, but if it is used properly, its power is also extraordinary. After all, this is something comparable to Naruto's mouth. It is possible to change a person's mind just by the way he says it. Could there be a more heaven-defying ability than this? Of course there is and there are many more. But Ache doesn't mind having such an ability. But now there are more people around. If you want to test your ability, you need to choose your target carefully. Soon, Ache's eyes fell on Huang Shi. Well, this Mr. Wang too, isn't it? Huang too was startled. He didn't expect Ache to talk to him suddenly. The others were also taken aback, then looked at Ache and Huang Wang nervously. Once the situation is not right, they will immediately cut into the topic and terminate what may have happened. Ache stood in front of Wang Tu and said with a smile, "What is your excellency coming here for? This beautiful lady should be your excellency's daughter." Huang Tu nodded and said, "That's right, I have a mission to accompany my daughter this time. Oh, I have some personal matters to deal with." Ache suddenly revealed a look of disapproval, and said, "Your excellency, forgive me for being nosy, but I think this young lady is not too young, and she is already able to make judgments about her own affairs. If you are still so worried, I think you are restricting this lady's personal freedom. In my opinion, it's better for you to go back first. I think this lady can handle everything. What do you think?" Huang Tu instinctively wanted to shake his head. But Ache's words echoed in his mind, completely changing what he wanted to say. "It's true that the black soil is so big, it's not good for me to continue to look at her like this, it's time to give her more freedom." Huang Tu nodded, seeming to agree with Ache's words. However, Haitu himself widened his eyes and looked at his father in disbelief. The current Haitu is only in his teens, still a young girl, far from the shadow of his future legs. There is not enough strength to stand alone. Under such circumstances, how can a simple and honest person feel at ease to let Haitu live freely by himself? That is absolutely impossible. But now, what did the Black Earth hear? She actually heard her stubborn father let go? Immediately, Black Soil realized that Ache must have played a role. However, Haitu only felt that Wang Tu didn't want to refute Ache, so as not to arouse Ache's disgust, so he followed Ache's words. But in fact, the situation is far more complicated than Haitu thought. Ache looked at the result of this attempt and was very satisfied. Through simple words, Wang Tu's will was completely reversed, and he hadn't even noticed it. It's such a weird power. I also have Hokage's strongest mouth. Ache thought excitedly. No matter what kind of yin and yang escape he is, or the 5 elements escape technique, in front of Zuiden, he is always a younger brother. Didn't you see Naruto who has a mouth, and changed his mind from what many people said? It is simply a bug-level ability. Now, this ability is not exclusive to Naruto, Ache also has the power to change everything. After chatting with Huang Tu for a few words, Ache came to the side with an excuse. But Ache wants to hide and relax, but the others are naturally unwilling. Yuhihong and Mitarashi Anko, who arrived while watching the last video, immediately surrounded them. Both of them have missions. The purpose is naturally to show his own charm, so that Ache can choose to join Konoha village. For this reason, the two didn't even wear traditional ninja clothes, but passed a close-fitting mesh dress, showing their wonderful figures to their heart's content. In this regard, the Heishi who has not fully grown is really too weak in front of the two of them. Ache-kun, is it okay for me to call you that? Kurenai Yuhi stuck to Ache's side without any scruples, holding one of Ache's arms. How did Ache-kun cultivate? I also want to become as powerful as Ache-kun, can you teach me, Ache-kun? Mitarashi Anko's face was a little red, but she was not shy, but couldn't stand Yuhihong's coquettish tone. After all, Mitarashi Anko's character is more carefree. Although for the task, she can do anything. But this kind of behavior that violated her character still made her feel very uncomfortable. Compared with Yu Hihong's coquettish strategy, Mitarashi Anko is more straightforward. She hugged Ake's shoulders directly, as if they were brothers who hadn't seen each other for a long time. Ake, I see you very well. How about it? Would you like to have a drink with me? Ake was in a dilemma. The main reason is that the elasticity on both sides is too good. He was immersed in this wonderful feeling and couldn't refuse. We just met, right? Is this not very good? But his footsteps were still involuntarily led by the two women. Haitu, who was watching from the side, was about to explode with anger. She rushed over, pushed Yu Hihong aside, and then hugged Ake's arm tightly, like a beast protecting food. Get the hell out of here. Ake's husband belongs to me alone. Yu Hihong immediately put her hands on her hips. You say what's yours is yours. Ake-kun has personal freedom. Have you asked Mr. Ake's opinion? Are you sure Mr. Ake likes a tablet like yours? If you want me to say, Mr. Ake definitely likes our figure better. Little girl, you should grow up another 10 years and come here. This is not a place for little girls like you to play. Haitu's face turned red when he was told. He opened his mouth wanting to refute. But before she could speak, another voice came from afar. Is it enough to be in good shape? Then I don't think your figure is very good? Everyone turned their heads and found that it turned out to be a dark-skinned intellectual beauty. She walked unhurriedly with elegant steps, without wearing the forehead protector representing the village. But everyone knows that the visitor is not good. She is Cloud Shinobi Village Jonin, the secret technique of the fourth Reikage, Mabui. I saw that Mabui was stepping on the steps, and every step was precisely on the heartbeat of everyone. Let everyone's attention be on her. This is also the effect that Mabui deliberately made. Show off the advantages of your body to your heart's content. Then, Mabui came to Ake proudly. The tall and well-proportioned figure immediately overwhelmed Haitu. There was also a dignified look on Yu Hihong's face. She knew that this uninvited guest was her biggest enemy right now. Mitarashi Anko said with a dissatisfied face. Who are you guys? Is it your place to intervene here? Mabui didn't care about Mitarashi Anko at all, her eyes all fell on Ake. She said with blurred eyes. Finally, meeting you in person, Ake. Ake looked puzzled. Not only in reality, even in the video, the two of them have never had any contact, right? Why is this man so strange when he sees him? It's as if you're going to go anytime. Obviously in the previous life, he looked like a very calm person. Hello. Do we know each other? Mabui smiled slightly and said. Don't you know each other now? My name is Mabui, and I will be the woman who will support you behind you in the future. Ake was taken aback for a moment, and then looked at Mabui with some doubts. What do you want to do? Mabui took a step forward and said. I want to be your wife, legal wife. I have been waiting for too long, only you. When you first appeared in my sight, I knew that I must never leave you. So, I came here all the way, just to meet you and confirm my inner feelings. Now, I have confirmed that I belong to you. Evening sun was red, black soil. Anko's complexion suddenly changed. This woman is so cunning. While they were still fighting over the ownership of Ake, this woman gave herself to Ake as soon as she came up. All of a sudden, there was a very sharp contrast with them. And a beauty of this level, with a posture that makes people want and want, who can resist it? Even they couldn't help being shaken in their hearts. But what about Ake? They turned their attention to Ake. I saw that Ake's face was extremely indifferent, or he looked very puzzled. This made Shi Hihong and the others feel relieved. Black Soil said even more sarcastically. Old woman, don't look at your dark appearance. I'm afraid you won't be able to find where you are if you turn off the lights. Mabui's smile suddenly became forced, and his forehead was covered with protruding blue veins. You little girl is really rude. However, I can also understand. After all, seeing my sister and my perfect body, for a person like you who can't understand it in his life, his heart will definitely become distorted because of jealousy. Don't worry, sister doesn't blame you, really. If you feel envious, sister can let you touch it and experience a realm that you will never be able to reach. These words seem to be very gentle, but they are also in the same direction. Every sentence is a critical blow and a serious injury to Haitu. Totally overwhelmed. Kakashi and the others, who watched for a long time, couldn't help but take a few steps back. It's really scary, a so-called woman. If I feel involved, I'm afraid there will be no bones left. Might Guy is also full of horror. It's horrible. Shiranui Genma sighed and said. I can suddenly understand why brother Lu Ju always sighs and sighs when drinking. Indeed, women are terrible creatures. Everyone nodded in unison. Only Asuma looked at Karini Yuhi with a full face. Damn it, Yuhi-hong. How can you act like a baby to that man? At this moment, Jiraiya, who arrived at some unknown time, patted Asuma on the shoulder and said with a sigh. Don't take it to heart, it's just her doing a job. As long as Aike is pulled to Konoha, she will still come back to you. Asuma turned her head and looked roundly at Zilai. Really? Will you really come back? Jiraiya nodded heavily and said. Most definitely. Kakashi shook his head helplessly. Two licking dogs. Might Guy's ears perked up, as if he heard Kakashi speak, but he didn't understand what he said. Kakashi. What cone are you talking about? Do you want to eat sweets? I'm not talking about you. You are too lazy, and you still eat things that make people's will corrupt. If you continue like this, the youthful blood in your body will disappear. Kakashi was even more speechless. That kind of thing, just let it die, I don't need it. Might Guy was immediately dissatisfied. How can you say that? The youthful blood in you is crying. Can't you hear it? To save your youth, let's run 500 kilometers. As soon as he said that, he grabbed Kakashi and was about to rush out. Wait. Kakashi looked terrified. He doesn't want to go for a run right now. Fortunately, at this time, the movement in the live broadcast room attracted everyone's attention and saved Kakashi. Ding. The comparison begins, randomly selecting the identity of the intervener Aike. Identities drawn this time, members of the Uchiha clan. This comparison reference task, Uchiha Sasuke. Another round of comparison videos has begun. This immediately attracted everyone's attention. Even the four women who had been arguing beside Aike stopped abruptly. Aike naturally knew that they were doing this because of the live broadcast room. But if Aike wants to pretend to be everything now, it is natural to show doubts. What's wrong with you? All of you suddenly stopped talking. It was like a sudden power outage. Yu Hahong came back to her senses and said quickly. We just feel like it's a waste of precious time to continue this senseless bickering. No, if you calm down first, relax the tense atmosphere. Aike said with a dazed face. So this is all. Haitu and Anko also nodded repeatedly. Mabui sighed a little regretfully. She had already gained the upper hand just now. As a secretary, Mabui is better than them in terms of words. Seeing that they can finally defeat them, and then occupy Aike by themselves. It's a pity that it was interrupted by the action in the live broadcast room. There won't be such a good chance next time, and at this time. The live broadcast room was also very lively. Uchiha Madara. Finally, I waited until Aike became my clan. But why wasn't it in my time? Senju Hashirama. With Aike here, the Uchiha clan will definitely not be exterminated, which is a good thing. Orochimaru. Aike with Sharingan, is it really exciting? Onoki. I have a hunch that Otsutsuki Kaguya will still not be able to appear this time. Fourth Raikage. I'm more concerned about the situation on Aike's side now. Aike, haven't you arrived yet? Mabui. I'm here, Master Raikage, please wait patiently. I will definitely bring Mr. Aike back to Cloud Shinobi Village. If I can't do it, then I will follow Aike. Deidara. Good guy, is this going to betray you on the spot? How could I, Master Aike, be abducted by you so easily? Just wait. After I pass by, Master Aike will follow me away. I am his apprentice. Kakuzu. This is just what you said, right? Aike has never met you in reality. Scorpion. There is no point in talking nonsense now, just look forward to Aike's performance, he will never let us down. Dried persimmon ghost shark. Indeed, I want to follow Aike to do it. Pen. Go if you want, now the Shao organization has lost its meaning of existence. Hidan. Huh? Is the Akatsuki organization going to disband? Is this too sudden? Conan. At least, we don't have the meaning to keep you now, because we don't need to catch those tail beasts now. Grandma Chio. Indeed, the things you do are all used by others to accomplish other people's goals, and you are all just miserable pawns. Jiraiya. If you want to resist, you can only take advantage of the present. Tsunade. Huh? Uchiha's kid? No interest, forget it, for the sake of Aike, let's take a look at it reluctantly. Uchiha Fugaku. The combination of Aike and our Uchiha clan will definitely produce the most powerful Uchiha. Just like the comparison video last time, continue to lead our Uchiha clan to glory. Shikamaru. Is there still a need to continue watching? Sasuke's life has been roughly understood through the previous videos. Although it is only a rough idea without too many details, there is still not much to look forward to. Sasuke. HMPH. I want to see what Ake wants to compare with me. In the eyes of everyone's curiosity, the video starts. Accompanied by the cry of the baby. Uchiha's current family, Uchiha Fugaku's second son, was born. Uchiha Fugaku had high hopes for the kid named Sasuke. But it wasn't long before Sasuke was born. A tragic disaster broke out in the village. The Nine Tails Rebellion. The fourth Hokage was sacrificed, and the Nine Tails were resealed on the fourth Hokage's child. The most troublesome thing is that because of the Nine Tails Rebellion, the Uchiha clan was feared by the high-level Konoha, and the entire clan was driven out of Konoha village. How can this be accepted by the proud Uchiha clan? In addition, the relationship between the Uchiha clan and the village is also like fire and water. Now it just makes the contradiction more and more acute. But little Sasuke doesn't have any idea about it. As he grows up, his favorite thing to do is pester his brother to practice. Thought that in Sasuke's eyes, his deputy Uchiha Itachi is the strongest Uchiha. He also wants to become the strongest Uchiha. Although Uchiha Itachi often has no time because of tasks, which makes him very disappointed. To Uchiha Fugaku's slight disappointment, Sasuke didn't show his Itachi-like talent. Although after entering the ninja school, he quickly became the number one in the grade. But compared with Uchiha Itachi's original results, there is nothing outstanding. For Sasuke, school is a boring place. Without any rivals, he just wants to spend more time with his family and brother. But Sasuke never expected it. His happy family suddenly took a turn for the worse. On this day, Sasuke walked home after school as usual. But entering the Uchiha tribe, he immediately noticed something was wrong. The guard at the gate was gone, and the whole clan was silent without the slightest sound. The slightly eerie atmosphere made Sasuke's heart tremble. He quickly ran back to his home, and then found his parents sitting on their knees, while his good brother Uchiha Itachi was holding a ninja knife in his hand, chopping wolf. Sasuke saw his parents killed by Uchiha Itachi. This shocking situation made his spirit unacceptable. Under the strong negative emotion, Sasuke's eyes suddenly turned scarlet. In Uchiha's characteristic red pupils, Atomo was slowly turning. Deidara. Good guy. Both parents died and they got a hook jade? Is this too cheap? Dried persimmon ghost shark. Itachi, is your younger brother too weak? How did he get such a powerful power after that? Did you hang up?
Kakuzu. This is not right. I remember that when Ake helped those Uchiha children to open Sharingan, they always used 3 hooks or even Mangekyo. Why did they only use 1 hook when they got here?
Uchiha Madara. It has something to do with age. The kid who opened his eyes was too young, he couldn't accumulate too much negative emotion, so he could only barely open a hook jade when he broke out at once, and I guess he didn't know it until now. Sasuke. What? I have already activated Sharingan. Why didn't I know? Scorpion. As expected of Uchiha Madara, he knows the source of Sharingan's power like the back of his hand. Orochimaru. It's really interesting. If you have enough negative emotions, you can open 3 hooks or even Mangekyo by opening your eyes once. Kakashi. So that's the case. No wonder Obito directly opened the Urguyu at the beginning. Is it because he is old enough? But why not the main Guyu? Asuma. After all, it was the tail end of the crane back then, so it is normal that the strength is not enough. Onoki. Hehe, it turned out to be such a crane tail, but it made all of you play around. If it weren't for the appearance of Ake, I'm afraid you would be led by the nose like in history, right? 4th Raikage. Parents and twin kings angrily opened a hook jade, I died laughing. Ha ha ha. Luo Sha. Your reflexes are really pitiful, how long did it take you to react? Grandma Chio. No way, muscle idiots are like this. On this night, Sasuke not only witnessed the death of his parents. His elder brother Uchiha Itachi even used the Mangekyo illusion, Tsukuyomi, on Sasuke, and tortured him severely in the Tsukuyomi space. After Sasuke became an orphan, his personality has also undergone an earth-shaking transformation. No longer showing a smile, I have a cold face every day. I am often in a daze when I am in class. But even so, Sasuke still firmly occupies the first place in the grade by virtue of the talent of the Uchiha family. That's all. Time flies. It's the day of the graduation exam. As the first grader, Sasuke passed the assessment easily. And at the placement meeting a few days later, I saw a person who shouldn't be here. Uzumaki Naruto. But Sasuke doesn't care. He cares more about who his next leading teacher is, and whether he can improve his strength so that he can master the power of revenge. However, what Sasuke never expected was that my first kiss would be so suddenly confessed to a man. This made Sasuke feel sick from the inside out. Although Sasuke doesn't care about these things now, this feeling is still unacceptable to Sasuke. Tooth. Ha ha ha. This is really a once-in-a-lifetime laugh. Otherwise, you can come now, and you can save yourself. Kakashi. It's really interesting. At this time, the two of them are just innocent teenagers. Sasuke. I'm going to kill you. Naruto. Why? Obviously I didn't do anything. And I've already seen it all, so I'm sure I wouldn't do it. My first kiss is for the girl I love. Little Sakura. Go to hell, Naruto. We must protect Sasuke's first kiss. Terumi Mei. It's nice to be young, full of vitality. Haitu. This kind of old woman's speech can be seen as an ant. Since she is an ant, don't try to pester my ache husband. Yuhi Hong. That's right, your age is too heavy for ache. Onoki. Women, they are crazy. Fourth Raikage. It's just a kiss between two little devils, but you guys can talk so much, I'm convinced. Tsunade. As expected of a muscular idiot, I'm afraid you don't even have a sense of humor, right? Killer Bee. I don't know if I have a sense of humor, but I definitely don't have an artistic sense, because my brother has never been able to understand my rap art. Death. After a brief farce, the next step is the graduation placement meeting. The previous events had been erased from Sasuke's mind. Sasuke is more concerned about the next leading teacher. However, everyone else has followed the leader Jonin after leaving. Their leader, Jonin, still hasn't shown up, after a long time. Jonin Hitaki Kakashi, who led the team, appeared in front of them. But Sasuke couldn't help doubting the opponent's strength. Because the opponent couldn't even avoid Naruto's lame trap. But soon, in the subsequent assessment, Sasuke deeply realized Hitaki Kakashi's strength as Jonin. It's just a shadow clone, and it's easy to deal with the three of them, even while reading a book. The three of them were completely ignored. Of course, this is also related to the lack of tacit understanding between the three people who just formed a team. Later, after a lot of effort, Sasuke and others finally passed Hitaki Kakashi's assessment and officially became a graduated genin, instead of being sent back to ninja school for another year. After. It's the long, boring life of D-level missions. Every day is not picking up garbage, looking for lost pets, or helping the farmer's uncle plant crops. Everything doesn't look like what a ninja should do. However, this is the daily life of every genin. Eventually, another player who couldn't stand it, Uzumaki Naruto, protested first before Sasuke could raise an objection. After listening to the opinions of the team members, Hitaki Kakashi led them to receive a C-level commission. Escort the target to the land of waves and protect his safety until the target completes the bridge building task. The mission target is a dirty old man. For this mission, Sasuke didn't take it seriously. The enemies that can be contacted by C-level missions are at most some hooligans, no matter in terms of strength or speed, they are much worse than those ninjas who use chakra. But just left the border of Fire Nation, the team was attacked. Two enemies suddenly attack from behind, directly crushing the lead Jonin Hitaki Kakashi. The sudden change immediately shocked everyone, only Sasuke remained calm enough. Because he has realized that something is wrong. When the two assailants attacked the dazed Naruto, Sasuke immediately came to the rescue, and a shuriken shot accurately fixed the chain between the two on the tree, but he landed on the tense wrists of the two. Then, Sasuke supported it with both hands, kicked his legs back, and immediately kicked the two attackers out, even the chains in his hands were broken. But they did not lose consciousness, but immediately attacked. The target this time is the task target protected by little Sakura. Just when the two were about to succeed, Kakashi, who had been watching for a long time, appeared in time and subdued the two of them instantly. After that, facing Naruto who was still shivering, Sasuke felt an indescribable sense of superiority in his heart. So he smiled jokingly at Naruto. Not hurt, coward? Sasuke didn't expect his own words to make Naruto cheer up immediately, and even swore by the wound kunai stabbed on his hand. But these Sasuke don't care. Deidara. Tisk, Uchiha's brat knows how to be handsome, but he just solved 2 wastes, so he's proud of it. Peach land no cutting. Indeed, 2 wastes, even a few genins can't solve it. Kakashi. This is also Sasuke's outstanding performance, after all, he is a genius. Hoshigaki Kisame. Genius. Both parents died and opened a hook. This is really a genius. Kakuzu. Indeed, compared with other Uchihas, I don't feel his genius at all. Onoki. It's just a stinky kid. I really don't understand how this little guy became so strong in the future. Grandma Chio. Isn't this his video? If you keep watching, you'll know. What's the rush? The attack allowed Hitaki Kakashi to confirm that the mission assignee had lied. But Sasuke doesn't care. He cared more about the actual combat experience just now. He performed very well, and he was able to gain the upper hand against the two alone. This made Sasuke very proud, but soon, this pride was dispelled. When they moved on and landed on the land of waves, they were immediately attacked for the second time. And the person who attacked them this time was the rebellious ninja of Kirigakure, the country of water, and 3 of the 7 ninja swordsmen. The Peach Land will not be cut again. Momochi Zabuzon's one-move silent killing book, using the mist shinobi technique to cover the field of vision, and then relying on the powerful sensory ability to hunt the prey that lost the 5 senses in the dense fog. This powerful pressure makes it difficult for Sasuke and others to resist. And Kakashi was careless, and was finally controlled by Momochi Zabuza. Then Momochi made another water body to deal with the 3 of Sasuke, and it appeared to be more than capable. But relying on Naruto's quick wit, Sasuke cooperated with him and perfectly broke Kakashi's control. Then Kakashi broke out and defeated Momochi. This is the appearance of Shiro, who calls himself the Mist Shinobi Pursuit Force, and takes away Zabuchi, who has fallen into a state of suspended animation. Afterwards, everyone dragged their wounds and came to the home of the task and Truster Dazna to rest and recuperate. During this time, Kakashi taught them how to step on the tree. So, Sasuke and Naruto started a contest between the two to see who can pass the test first. As for little Sakura, she has already reached the top of the tree after a few simple common sense. This training is not difficult for her at all. After a few days, after training is over, Dao Di Zaibu Zan attacked again. The site of the attack this time was above the bridge being built. But Sasuke needs to face a powerful enemy alone, Shiro, who possesses the ice escape art. Under Bai's ice escape secret technique, Sasuke couldn't capture Yu's super fast speed with naked eyes. Just when Sasuke was being toyed with, Naruto broke in. However, this only made things more difficult for the two of them. However, under Sasuke's constant attempts, he was able to capture Shiro's movement track little by little. At this time, Sasuke didn't know what happened to his eyes. Until Naruto discovered the abnormality of his eyes. Sasuke, what happened to your eyes? It turned out to be so red. Sasuke was taken aback for a moment, and immediately understood that he had started Sharingan. This immediately boosted Sasuke's confidence. Ha ha ha, just wait and see, Sharingan has the strongest dynamic vision, no matter how fast you are, I can still see you. Sasuke's face was full of complacency, but Bai was not worried at all. Really? Can your body keep up with my speed? At first, Sasuke didn't know what Bai's words meant. But soon, he paid the price for his underestimation of the enemy. As Sasuke said, Sasuke, who owns Sharingan, has been able to see Bai's trajectory, but seeing is seeing. It's no use having a body that can't keep up with everything. Even Sasuke thought of ways to attack early, but he was still easily dodged by Bai. It didn't take long before his body was filled with thousands of books, as if he had turned into a hedgehog. He then collapsed to the ground due to his injuries. Deidara. Ha ha ha. I am so funny. Where was that confidence just now? Why did you lie on the ground? Kakuzu. It really belongs to the arrogance of a teenager. Kakashi. Oh, Sasuke, you are too bloated, haven't you figured out such a simple thing? Kankuro. Is this Konoha's #1 grade? I really laughed, ha ha ha. Orochimaru. It seems that there is something wrong with the brain. This seems to be a common problem of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Madara. What nonsense, are you kidding? Are you impatient to live? Senju Tobirama. He is right. If it wasn't for your Uchiha acting abnormally, why would I fear you so much? Naruto. Ha ha ha, you were so arrogant just now, but in the end it still depends on me. Sasuke. Damn it. Remember it. I must kill you, Naruto. Shikamaru. Stop typing, just watch the video honestly. Yeah. I admit that the opponent Sasuke is facing is very strong, but the contrast between Sasuke's front and back is really too big, it's really too funny, ha ha ha. When Sasuke came to his senses, it was over. Knowing everything from Sakura and Kakashi, Sasuke gritted his teeth secretly. Regarding this humiliating record, Sasuke secretly made up his mind that he must practice hard, at least so that his body can keep up with the speed of his eyes. Back to Konoha. What meets Sasuke is naturally the twice-yearly Chunin exam. Sasuke signed up confidently. Then when heading to the examination room, I encountered a challenge from a boy with a watermelon head in the hall. The seemingly ordinary dress on the opposite side made Sasuke disdainful. After all, he is Uchiha who has awakened the Sharingan, and his strength is extraordinary. A half-baked ninja like you who only knows taijutsu, I don't need 5 minutes to finish you. In front of everyone, Sasuke uttered wild words. Then Sasuke turned on Sharingan, and clearly saw Shao Li's trajectory. Then, Sasuke was kicked in the face and flew several meters away, and he didn't get up for a long time. Deidara. Ha ha ha, I laughed so hard. No way, my stomach hurts from laughing, ha ha ha. Hoshigaki Kisame. It's really possible to fall twice in the same place, to be so careless. Have you forgotten the fact that you were beaten up before? Sasuke. Damn it. Even this watermelon head can defeat me. I clearly have the strongest power of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Madara. Brat, if you don't even have the three-god jade, don't come out to pretend. It's really embarrassing for our Uchiha clan. Kakuzu. This Sasuke can be called the tooth of Uchiha. The two brothers are both, in various senses. Uchiha Fugaku. Damn it. Sasuke, cheer up. You are the one who wants to revive the Uchiha clan. Onoki. The only seedling of the Uchiha clan. How did he behave like this? It is really hard to imagine how he managed to save the ninja world together with Naruto.
Terumi Mei. Naruto can escape by talking. What does Sasuke rely on? Pretentious.
Luo Sha. But he has never succeeded in pretending to be aggressive, all of which are failures. Sasuke finds it difficult to accept the fact that he was beaten violently under the watchful eyes of everyone. This made the negative emotions in his heart even stronger. Under Naruto's play, the first exam passed smoothly. When it came to the second exam, because of Naruto's behavior of handing in a blank paper, they became the last team to enter the death forest in the exam room. Not long after entering, it was attacked as expected. Taking advantage of Naruto's lagging behind, the enemy uses the transformation technique to change into Naruto's appearance in an attempt to attack from behind. But was soon discovered by Sasuke and seriously injured. Then they developed a long list of codes to prevent such a thing from happening again. Sure enough, not long after, another person appeared in the form of Naruto, and said the long code verbatim. Sasuke also used this reason to immediately judge that the one in front of him was also a fake Naruto. Because the real Naruto could never remember such a long password. Naruto. Damn it. Who do you look down on? I'll definitely remember it. Tooth. Impossible, Naruto doesn't have that brain. Shikamaru. Don't waste your efforts, this kind of thing can't happen to you. Choji. Indeed, this kind of thinking is not suitable for us, Naruto, we just need to shoot. Kakashi. Don't underestimate Naruto, although the written test results are a mess, but Naruto is still very good in the key quick wits, such as when I was trapped by Zabuzan. The cooperation between him and Sasuke was Naruto's brainstorm. Deidara. Don't argue with him, even if he is quick-witted, it doesn't mean that Naruto can remember such a long string of codes. Kushina. Are you underestimating my son? Who gave you the courage? Namikaze Minato. I think this is pretty cute. His identity was changed, and Orochimaru appeared disguised as Kusanagi. Although he made a disguise, Orochi Wei obviously did not intend to conceal his identity. The summoned summoning beast is a giant snake, and its body is as soft as a snake. The ninjutsu used is also related to snakes. As if telling everyone his identity, Sasuke had never seen such a powerful opponent. Just the killing intent made him unable to move in fear. Facing the turbulent giant snake, Sasuke still relied on sticking kunai on his thigh to give him the strength to move. But this self-mutilation behavior also made Sasuke understand that this is by no means an opponent that he can deal with now. At the critical moment, Naruto reappeared, blocked the giant snake's attack, and at the same time faced Sasuke, returned the sarcastic words that Sasuke said to Naruto. Aren't you hurt, coward? Sasuke's pupils locked tightly, feeling that he was humiliated by Ultimate. Because of this, Sasuke regained his composure. He no longer tried to escape, but chose to confront it head-on. Even if he knew that the chances of winning were not high, he no longer avoided it. The pride in his heart does not allow him to take a step back. Then, through joint efforts, Sasuke's fire style successfully attacked Orochimaru. But before Sasuke felt happy, he found that the enemy had been hit by his ninjutsu, but the camouflage was removed. Such a powerful opponent, an opponent that he could not hurt by all means, made Sasuke fall into fear. Just then, Orochimaru, who had had enough of playing, left a mark of the heavenly curse on his target, Sasuke. Under severe pain, Sasuke passed out again. I don't know how long it has passed. Sasuke woke up again. This time, his body was covered with traces of curse marks, and his calendar was also greatly enhanced. The whole person looked extremely cold. Seeing the wounded little Sakura, he felt angry, and then cruelly punished the members of the Atonin squad who took the opportunity to attack. Then, the curse mark faded from Sasuke's body. Sasuke looked down at his trembling hands with fear and excitement in his heart. The fear is because Sasuke can't control his inner emotions in the state of the curse seal, as if he has become a puppet of power. What is exciting is that this powerful force is what he has been looking for, and he can use it for revenge. Unfortunately, he can't master this power, and the risk of losing his mind makes Sasuke hesitate to use it. After passing the second round of assessment, Kakashi noticed Sasuke's abnormality, and put a seal on him to block the influence of the curse seal on Sasuke. But this requires Sasuke's own chakra to maintain. Once Sasuke's chakra is insufficient, the effect of the seal will be greatly reduced. But in the preliminaries, Sasuke's opponent is a ninja who can absorb the opponent's chakra through contact. After several fights, most of Sasuke's chakra was absorbed, and finally he had to rely on the physical skills he stole from Lee to defeat his opponent. Then came the main race after a month. During this time, Kakashi found Sasuke and offered to help Sasuke with special training. Sasuke readily agreed, and learned the ninjutsu called Chidori from Kakashi. But the time for practice was too tight, so Sasuke almost lost the qualification for being late. When Sasuke rushed to the arena, the excited Sasuke just wanted to show his strength and shocked all the audience. Let people recall the power of the Uchiha clan again. Facing Gaara, who had absolute defense, Sasuke showed a speed comparable to that of Shao Li, and directly beat Gaara violently. The close-fitting sand armor was also cracked. Afterwards, Gaara made a foolish move, wrapped himself in layers of sand, and took a completely defensive position. Sasuke continued to rush over, but the moment he got close to the sandball, he ducked with a keen speed, dodging the sharp spikes that suddenly protruded. Then Sasuke backed away quickly, gasping for breath in fear. If it wasn't for his Sharingan's observation that his own speed has also been improved, he might have pierced several holes in his body and come out. Fortunately, this result did not appear, and Sasuke wasn't discouraged either. Now was a good time for him to show the results of his training. Facing an immovable target, Sasuke immediately used the Chidori he learned from Kakashi. In an instant, the entire venue was filled with sharp voices. Deidara. Although it is very powerful, this move is definitely the most unsuitable ninjutsu for assassination. It is too noisy. Scorpion. Are you embarrassed to say someone else? The boy who plays explosions. Kikisame. Let me be fair, although Deidara's explosive ninjutsu is very noisy, but at least when the sound comes out, the lethality will also appear. Unlike this Chidori, when the sound comes out, a normal person will alert. Kakashi. No way, this technique is just like this, let's just wait and see. Kakuzu. Looking at it this way, everyone's proud moves have been exposed through these videos, which is very unfriendly to my work. Hidan. Brother Kakuzu, you are really persistent, do you still want to hunt those bounties? Senju Tobirama. How can a guy who is so addicted to money change his will so easily? Senju Hashirama. I always feel that this name is a bit familiar. Onoki. Can't even remember the person who assassinated you? Are you dementia? Grandma Chio. If you want to talk about dementia, you are more likely, aren't you? After all, you are half buried now. Terumi Mei. What's going on? Why is the building crooked? Didn't you say that Kakashi's ninjutsu is not suitable for assassination? Why did you suddenly turn to the age issue? Haitu. You are so sensitive, do you feel inferior in age, Granny? Yu Rihong. Indeed, the old woman should stay at home honestly, and don't come out to embarrass her face. Mitarashi Anko. Ake's fate must have nothing to do with you, old woman. Nara Luju. Women are really scary. After getting ready, Sasuke rushed over quickly. Prepared this time, with Sharingan's excellent dynamic vision, he dodged all the spikes, and stabbed his electric right hand into the sandball. For a moment, Gaara's attack stopped. This also means that Luo is under attack. Then, an injured Gaara fell into a berserk stance. And at this time, the hidden Orochimaru sent a signal, and the ninjas of Sanagakure and Atonin village attacked, and the whole Konoha fell into chaos. Sasuke goes after Gaara. I saw a terrifying change in Gaara's body. Two huge palms made of sand are full of great power, and the endless sand has become Gaara's sharpest weapon. When the overwhelming Sha Chinban attacked, Sasuke could only dodge in embarrassment. Sasuke only wants to finish the unfinished battle with Gaara. But with Gaara undoing the tailed beast in his body, Sasuke is already disqualified from this fight. He could only watch on the ground as Naruto also summoned a huge toad to fight with him. This is a level of combat that Sasuke has never been exposed to. It also made Sasuke deeply understand that Naruto, who was just at the end of the crane, had caught up with him unconsciously. Even surpassed himself. This made the proud Sasuke unacceptable. In the end, the mess ended without Sasuke contributing anything. Third Hokage died in battle. A large number of buildings were destroyed, and Konoha suffered heavy losses. But fortunately, the casualties were not serious. The civilians were immediately sent to a safe place. In the end, Sarutobi Hiruzen seems to be the only one who died. The next day, all dressed in black mourning, came to mourn the dead third Hokage. Deidara. Good death. What a joy. Orochimaru finally did a human thing. Orochimaru. Thank you, thank you. Kakuzu. Good news, Sarutobi Hiruzen is dead. Bad news, Sarutobi Hiruzen died too late. Onoki. This hatred value is simply unmatched. I am afraid that only Danzo can compare with him, right? Uchiha Fugaku. Two people are equally hateful. If I am still alive, I would like to eat their flesh alive. Senju Tobirama. Although it is a master killer, it can be regarded as a cleanup. Uchiha Madara. Such a death is really cheap for him. Asuma. You can't just look at the bad side. If it weren't for my father, Konoha would have already. Grandma Chio. Konoha's life will only be better than it is now. Think about it carefully. How many things did your father do when he was in power? To be honest, as a person from the outer village, I would like to thank your father. He is like it's a spy lurking in Konoha's high level, who went to sabotage. Fourth Raikage. As expected of a puppet old woman, she speaks brilliantly. Terumi Mei. I don't want to be scolded by so many people after my death. Third Hokage is really a good negative teaching material. After the funeral, not much has changed in Sasuke's day. The only thing that surprised Sasuke was that Kakashi was seriously injured and had to recuperate at home. Sasuke went to check, and after discovered Kakashi's weakness, he questioned the other people present in surprise. What on earth happened? Might Guy looks away. It's nothing, nothing happened. Even children can't be fooled by bad words. Sasuke knew immediately that they were hiding something. But Sasuke couldn't figure out why. But soon, a ninja wearing sunglasses rushed in from outside, and the words that blurted out made Sasuke understand what they were hiding. I heard that Itachi is back? Is it true? And he's still looking for Naruto, After finishing speaking, Black Mirror Ninja discovered that Sasuke was also in the house. This time, the house fell into an extremely embarrassing situation. Sasuke's face also became extremely terrifying in an instant. Deidara. Ha ha ha, is this guy an idiot? How did he see Jonin in such a panic? Kakashi. Ebisu is still a very good ninja, but sometimes he does seem a little flustered. Yu Rihong. Just an idiot. Might Guy. Alas, I tried my best to cover up. I was messed up by you. Ebisu. Is that what you call a cover-up? You can't even fool a child. Kakuzu. Are the ninjas in Konoha all weird? Dried persimmon ghost shark. Every time I see this watermelon head, I feel so strange, like some kind of rare beast. Orochimaru. It's really exciting. What will happen when Sasuke and his brother meet? Scorpion. At least Itachi won't cut off Sasuke's arm, unlike you. Jiraiya. Oh? Orochimaru's hand was cut off by Itachi? Tsunade. It must be Orochimaru's hand, thinking that he can beat the geniuses of the Uchiha family. Luo Sha. It's a pity that this person's surname is Uchiha, and he doesn't support Uchiha at all. He is a complete traitor. Grandma Chio. It is obvious that the people above have gone astray, and he still comforts himself because he is thinking about the peace of the village. What an idiot, he has blinded his talent for nothing. Sasuke rushed out immediately. His heart was filled with hatred. I just want to find Itachi and get revenge. At this time, Sasuke remembered that Uchiha Itachi was targeting Naruto. Although Sasuke doesn't know why Uchiha Itachi is staring at Naruto, but if he wants to find Uchiha Itachi, finding Naruto is the fastest way. And if you want to know the location of Naruto, just go directly to the place where Naruto is most likely to go. So, Sasuke immediately came to Ichiraku Ramen, which is Naruto's most frequented place. Although Naruto was not found, Naruto's whereabouts were also discovered. Sasuke rushed over without stopping. When Sasuke rushed to the town where Naruto was, there was not much movement in the town. This made Sasuke very happy. Because after seeing Naruto's ninjutsu, he knew that Naruto would not be easily captured, and even if he was captured, there would definitely be some commotion. The streets are certainly not so peaceful. Subsequently, Sasuke looked for a family of hotels in the past. But it was never found. Although it is only a small town, it has a large number of hotels. After a lot of hard work, Sasuke finally found the inn where Naruto was. When he arrived panting, he saw Uchiha Itachi with his back turned to him, and a strange person who didn't need to pay attention. Haven't seen you for a long time, Uchiha Itachi said coldly. Even with his back to Sasuke, he could clearly feel Sasuke's arrival. Sasuke stared at Uchiha Itachi with hatred on his face. Uchiha Itachi, I'm going to kill you, in Sasuke's eyes is the Scarlet Urguyu Sharingan. In the eyes, there is only hatred for Uchiha Itachi. As you said, I hate you and hate you. Then, in order to kill you, I lived until now. Chidori's chirping sound exploded in the corridor of the hotel. Subsequently, Sasuke charged straight at Uchiha Itachi. The momentum is like a rainbow. Then, with a snap, Uchiha Itachi grabbed the arm. All the power of Chidori in his hand was also released on the wall, without causing the slightest damage to Uchiha Itachi. Kakuzu. Is that the case? Do you have the guts to clamor to kill Uchiha Itachi? Deidara. Although I don't like Itachi, his strength is definitely not enough to kill at this level. This Sasuke is too young.
Scorpion. Blinded by hatred and lost self-knowledge, you want revenge just like that. How funny.
Orochimaru. Sure enough, the current Sasuke is still too immature. Jiraiya. Well, wait, isn't it me who is practicing with Naruto? Where am I now? Tsunade. Who doesn't know your virtues? You must have been lured away by a trap, so you don't need to think about it. Kakashi. It really looks like something that Jiraiya Senpai can do. Grandma Chio. The old man with the trachea is really blind. This kind of guy can be called Sannin by him? It can only be said that the strength of the old man with the trachea has declined too seriously. Terumi Mei. How many times is this the first time? Sasuke wanted to pretend to be aggressive but was hit in the face. It always feels like there are several bumps on the face. Onoki. Jiraiya should be on the stage next, right? After all, he will be on the stage to rescue these two little guys. Fourth Raikage. I can only say that this Uchiha kid is too funny. With such a little strength, he wants to fight against this S-rank wanted criminal. Sasuke's arm was firmly held, unable to break free. At this time, Jiraiya's presence made Uchiha Itachi feel a little nervous. Then he snapped Sasuke's arm cleanly. Sasuke fell to the ground with a howl. But the stronger Sasuke stood up bravely when he heard that Jiraiya was coming to deal with Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame. No meddling. This is my fight. Sasuke's mind keeps reminiscing about the tragic death of his parents when he was a child. The hatred kept spinning in his mind, turning into strength to support him to stand up. Then he rushed out. But it was easily punched by Uchiha Itachi and flew out. After. That's Uchiha Itachi's one-sided abuse. Unable to fight back, Sasuke kept questioning himself in his heart. What has he been doing since that day until now? Why now, facing the enemy, but can't do anything? With this confusion, finally under Uchiha Itachi's Tsukuyomi, Sasuke finally couldn't bear it and passed out. When Sasuke woke up again, it was already a long time later. During his coma, Naruto found Tsunade Hime, one of the Sannin, to succeed the fifth Hokage. He was able to wake up only under the treatment of Tsunade-ji. But even so, the multiple fractures on his body still required long-term treatment. But in Sasuke's heart, more confusion and more sharp thoughts arose. He wants to gain strength, to gain the power zone to beat everything. For this, it doesn't matter if you pay any price. When his body recovered almost, Naruto just came to see a doctor. Regardless of Sakura's obstruction, Sasuke insisted on competing with Naruto. So, on the roof of the hospital, the two fought without reservation. Hitting and hitting, looking at Naruto who was on par with him, Sasuke was filled with anger. The former genius himself, facing the former Cranetail, can only draw a tie. This made Sasuke unacceptable. In the end, Sasuke couldn't control himself and released the mighty Chidori. And Naruto responded by using the Rasengan he learned from Jiraiya. Just when the two were about to collide, Kakashi appeared in time, grabbed the arms of the two, and threw them towards the water tank in the distance. Both attacks pierced the tank simultaneously. Sasuke saw his Chidori blowing a big hole through the water tank, while Naruto's Rasengan just made a small hole. Jonin couldn't help showing a smug look on his face. But when he jumped off the roof and looked at the water tank from the other side, he saw that the back of the water tank on Naruto's side was completely smashed, and his face became ugly again. At this moment, Sasuke's desire for power reached its peak. And at this moment, in front of Sasuke, an olive branch stretched out. An olive branch from Orochimaru who killed the third Hokage in the previous riot. Facing the temptation of power, Sasuke didn't hesitate at all. Even if this body is handed over to the devil, he must live to overcome the power of Uchiha Itachi. Then, Sasuke defected. However, at Naruto's insistence, Tsunade did not regard Sasuke's behavior as a defection. Instead, a team led by Shikamaru is sent to bring Sasuke back. However, Sasuke has made up his mind to go. In the Valley of the End, after defeating Naruto with the power of the brand new spell, Sasuke cut off the fetters in his heart and lived only for revenge. At the same time, Sasuke finally brought a Gyuyu Sharingan. Deidara. As Itachi wished, Sasuke became an avenger, but I'm more curious why Itachi didn't kill Sasuke. Uchiha Madara. Because if you want to have the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, you need to transplant the Mangekyo Sharingan from your brother. Kakuzu. Didn't Ike do this kind of thing before when he was in the Uchiha clan? There was also a rule that every family's children must have an even number or something. Hidan. Come to think of it, so it was to ensure that everyone can obtain eternal Mangekyo? Scorpion. Idiot, what have you been watching so far? Hoshigaki Kisame. After all, if you believe in that kind of evil god, you definitely won't have enough brains. Hidan. How dare you disrespect Lord Evil God? I will kill you as a sacrifice to Lord Evil God. Onoki. No wonder Uchiha Itachi seems to put a lot of water, it turned out to be for this purpose. Terumi Mei. He did this just to get Sasuke's eyes? Sasuke. So I got the power from Orochimaru. Orochimaru. You have no chance now, because it is impossible for Konoha's people to let you come here. Kakashi. Sasuke, don't think about unrealistic things. The power of the curse seal is not a good thing. You also saw it in Uchiha Itachi's video before. The curse seal is just Orochimaru wanting to control your body. Might Guy. This method of using external force is always unreliable. Why not practice with me, with your Sharingan, plus the physical skills I taught, you will definitely be the brightest cub under Konoha. Xiao Li. Master. How could you abandon me? Naruto. Well, imagine Sasuke wearing a green tights like Xiao Li, with watermelon hair. You came to Orochimaru. Orochimaru immediately arranged a lot of training for Sasuke. Naturally, he did not give up using Sasuke's body to do some experiments. Having suffered a loss from Uchiha Itachi, Orochimaru naturally wanted to find out the specific situation of the Uchiha clan. Sasuke, on the other hand, is the only body of the Uchiha clan that Orochimaru can obtain. In the hands of Orochimaru, Sasuke constantly breaks through himself, and his strength has also been improved more. 3 years later, Sasuke finally gained great strength. Feeling the surging power in his body, Sasuke knew that the time for his revenge had finally come. But before that, he needs to solve a problem first. That is Orochimaru. Because, Orochimaru didn't help Sasuke for free. Orochimaru cultivated Sasuke in order to be able to obtain Sasuke's body. By occupying other people's bodies, to achieve the purpose of immortality. This is the secret art mastered by Orochimaru. And Sasuke is his next target. And Sasuke himself knows it well, so he directly strikes first. He found Orochimaru directly, and after a battle, killed Orochimaru in the different space Orochimaru created himself. After doing all this, Sasuke came to a base somewhere in Orochimaru alone. During the 3 years under Orochimaru, Sasuke didn't just stay in one place all the time. As for Orochimaru's subordinates, Sasuke is not the only one who is used as a spare body. Sasuke never forgot his true purpose of coming to Orochimaru's hand. That is to find Uchiha Itachi and take revenge. So, after solving the threat of Orochimaru, Sasuke then came to various secret bases in Orochimaru, and found a few people who had been optimistic beforehand to form a team. They are Ghost Lantern Suigetsu, who has mastered the hydration technique, Chongo, who is the source of the curse seal, and Shanglin, who is from the Uzumaki family. Onoki, the source of the curse seal. This honest-looking young man turned out to be the source of the Orochimaru curse seal? It's really strange. Terumi Mei, Ghost Lamp Suewi. I remember it is the younger brother of the guy who is Ghost Lamp Full Moon. Full Moon is a genius. I don't know how this Sueyu is. Kushina. Are there survivors of the Uzumaki family? I don't know how many survivors are still wandering outside. Senju Hashirama. Let the allies be destroyed. Monkey, you don't deserve to be this Hokage. Orochimaru. Chongo, he is born with a sage body, but he doesn't have a strong enough will to control the power in his body. Jiraiya. Is that so? With such violent power in his body, it's really rare that this young man didn't die. Chongwu. My life itself is full of sins, hateful but unable to kill myself. After forming a team, Sasuke continued to search for Uchiha Itachi's whereabouts. In order to track down the whereabouts of Uchiha Itachi, Sasuke followed the whereabouts of the Akatsuki organization and successfully stopped Deidara organized by Akatsuki. It's a pity that Sasuke did not know the location of Uchiha Itachi from Deidara's mouth. Instead, he used the move that Deidara was going to use to deal with Uchiha Itachi on himself. For this reason, Sasuke had to summoning the 10,000 snakes into the 10,000 snakes body to stop Deidara's destructive self-explosion. After that, through continuous searching, Sasuke finally found a stronghold of Akatsuki and successfully found information about Uchiha Itachi there. When Sasuke found Uchiha Itachi was sitting on a chair, calmly waiting for Sasuke's arrival. Apparently, Uchiha Itachi has been waiting a long time too. Subsequently, the two sides first came to a wave of illusion battles between Sharingan. Between illusions, both sides come and go. It looked like Uchiha Itachi with the Mangekyo Sharingan had the absolute upper hand. But suddenly, Uchiha Itachi's Tsukuyomi suddenly failed, and the two were released from the illusion state. But what happened in the illusion showdown caused the audience in the live broadcast room to fall into silence. After a long time, someone spoke cautiously. Deidara. So, Uchiha Madara killed his brother and took his eyes. Uchiha Madara. Nonsense. He doesn't even know the real situation. I will never hurt my brother. Senju Hashirama. Alas, maybe it was this opportunity that led to the final confrontation between you and me, Madara. Uchiha Izuna. Skills are inferior to others. I have nothing to say when I died at the hands of Senju Tobirama, but I didn't expect my death to be arranged like this by the younger generation. Onoki. Since things are not as Uchiha Itachi said, what is the meaning of what he said? Although he said that he wanted to snatch Sasuke's eyes, he also said before that it must be Mangekyo Sharingan. Grandma Chiyo. That's right. The current Sasuke doesn't even have a Mangekyo. Even if Uchiha Itachi is taken away, it's impossible to use it for transplantation. Kakashi. In my opinion, Itachi probably wants to tell Sasuke something, some very important information. Pain. I have always been very clear that Uchiha Itachi is a spy placed by Konoha's high-level officials, although I am afraid that Konoha's people are not aware of this matter. Kakuzu. I see, I'm afraid Uchiha Itachi obviously has other purposes for this battle. Scorpion. Uchiha Itachi's illusion was released. Maybe it wasn't done by Sasuke himself, probably Uchiha Itachi released the water. Terumi Mei. That's normal. Mangekyo's strength has been seen many times in previous videos. Sasuke wants to rely on Sanguyu to fight against Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo. Obviously impractical. Senju Tobirama. The truth of the matter can only be known after seeing it. Naruto. Wow, Sasuke's brother is so amazing. Luo Sha. After all, he is just a fool who destroys his own family. The illusion duel is over, and it can be clearly seen that Uchiha Itachi is in poor condition. I don't know if it is the sequela of the failure of the illusion, or there are other reasons. Then, the two started a crazy shuriken confrontation. The shurikens in their hands seemed endless, but the first to get hurt was Uchiha Itachi, who owns the Mangekyo Sharingan. By manipulating the shuriken with the silk thread, Sasuke managed to wound Uchiha Itachi. But this injury is still unbelievable. Deidara confirmed. Uchiha Itachi must have released the water. No, it was released into the sea. How could he not be able to dodge such an attack? Kakuzu. A man with the will to die. I am afraid that only this guy with eyes full of hatred can't see the true level of his opponent. Dried persimmon Kisame. If Mr. Itachi really gets serious, maybe Sasuke will be instantly killed in one encounter. Whether it is Tsukuyomi or Amaterasu, they are very powerful abilities. Onoki. There is no point in watching this battle anymore, because the ending has already been set by default, and it is not unheard of in Uchiha Itachi's video. Fourth Raikage. Is this a different angle? It doesn't feel like much has changed. Jiraiya. I remember that Uchiha Itachi also has another purpose, which is related to the curse seal. Orochimaru. Since you have all seen it, there is no point in continuing to hide it now. I can keep my soul resurrected through the seal. Tsunade. I'm curious, how did Uchiha Itachi know this news? Kakashi. The current Itachi is definitely not in a weak state, and after so many years in the Akatsuki organization, he must use the power of Mangekyo repeatedly, and his current vision must be severely deteriorating. Terumi Mei. You can't dodge this level of attack. Uchiha Itachi's state is really bad. Naruto. Huh. But I think Sasuke's continuous attack is very powerful. Why do you all think Sasuke's performance is poor? Might Guy. In fact, with Uchiha Itachi's strength, the inability to dodge this level of attack is indeed a big problem. The two started a ninjutsu confrontation, hit directly from the room to the roof. Eventually, Uchiha Itachi also had to resort to his other Mangekyo pupil technique, Amaterasu. However, the location where Amaterasu's black flame appeared was unbelievable. Seeing Hei Yan chasing behind Sasuke, burning most of the forest before finally calling Commander's help, the people in the live broadcast room were cast into silence technique again. It took a long time before anyone spoke. Shikamaru. Doesn't this Amaterasu just see people? Can this attack ability be avoided? Deidara. I told you that Uchiha Itachi let the sea go. He definitely didn't want to just burn his brother to death. He must have some other purpose. Kakuzu. After all, he is a high-level spy of Konoha, and he specially left his younger brother on the night of the genocide. Obviously his younger brother is also a special existence to him. Scorpion. I didn't expect that Uchiha Itachi, who can slaughter all the clansmen, has people who can't do it. Onoki. This battle is becoming more and more meaningless. Orochimaru. I really want to continue to take a look. After all, there are things I am interested in. Tsunade. What you want to see is the weapon that seals you, right? It seems that that thing is indeed a great threat to you. Uchiha Madara. What a clumsy drama. The key is that one of the parties actually took it seriously. It's so ugly. Sasuke. Damn it. Close your eyes. Stop watching. I'm like a stripped clown. Naruto. Hearing what you say, doesn't Sasuke's brother actually want to fight Sasuke? Kakashi. Itachi chose a path with no retreat, and now he can only suffer the consequences. Maybe he wants to use this method to compensate his younger brother, but he really lacks understanding of the human heart. Terumi Mei. In the end, it's just a pawn being manipulated in the palm of your hand. With Amaterasu black inflammation in his body, Sasuke immediately lay down on the ground in pain. But with the help of his own body, he opened a hole on the roof below him, and used Orochimaru's big snake flow body replacement technique to escape the threat of Amaterasu. When Uchiha Itachi stepped forward to check, Sasuke activated the spell seal too, raised a lot of chakra, and unleashed it all with fire style. This pass fire style did not pose too much threat to Uchiha Itachi. But because of the high temperature, the weather in this area has been directly changed. Thunderclouds gather and rainfalls. Thunder roared, accompanied by Sasuke's proud face. Disappear with the thunder. Sasuke delivered his final blow. The thunder crashed down, directly blowing up this stronghold into ruins. Among the ruins, Uchiha Itachi fell to the ground. It was as if Sasuke had finally won, but as Sasuke yelled excitedly, Uchiha Itachi got up. Seeing that Uchiha Itachi is not dead, Sasuke immediately activates the second state of Curse Seal, so that he can regain his combat history. But on Uchiha Itachi, a more intense chakra emerges. Red chakra visible to the naked eye. In this chakra-like flame, a huge skeleton emerged. It was Susanoo at the very beginning. It was also because of Susanoo's defense that Uchiha Itachi was able to survive the attack just now. And soon, Uchiha Itachi's Susanoo reached the third stage. A bust of Susanoo covered in armor and holding a weapon. At this time, Orochimaru, who was waiting for an opportunity while staying in Sasuke's spell seal, also used his 8-chi technique to become a giant snake with 8 heads and tails. Existence like a myth, with a body as huge as a tailed beast, represents the powerful history possessed by the celestial snake at this time. However, Uchiha Itachi has long been waiting for Orochimaru's appearance. The moment Orochimaru appeared, he sealed it with the 10-fist sword that has the power of sealing. As for Sasuke, because of Orochimaru's seal, the curse seal of the sky planted by Orochimaru disappeared, and he also lost the ability to open the seal. So, without chakra, the Sharingan cannot be opened, facing Uchiha Itachi, who is like a ghost, who opened Susanoo. Sasuke's legs trembled in fright, and he kept yelling, "Damn it! Don't come here!" Sasuke kept throwing shurikens with detonating charms, but couldn't break through Susanoo's attack. In the end, he could only watch helplessly as Uchiha Itachi walked up to him step by step. Against the only wall still standing, bears the coat of arms of the Uchiha clan. And Sasuke has no way out. Uchiha Itachi finally came up, and Sasuke could no longer stop Uchiha Itachi. And this is, in panic, Sasuke only saw Uchiha Itachi's mouth constantly opening and closing, and then stretched out 2 fingers, not reaching his eyes, but pointing at his forehead area. Just like when I was a child, when I felt sorry for Sasuke, I would do it every time. Sasuke froze in place, and Susanoo of Uchiha Itachi let out a growl and dissipated. Uchiha Itachi slammed his head against the wall, and then slowly fell to the ground, completely out of breath. The battle between the 2 brothers is finally over. The winner is Sasuke, but this outcome is hard to accept. Onoki. As expected, there will be no slight change. Of course, I have already seen it once, and there is no other change. Even if there is a change, it should be after Ache appeared on the stage. Deidara. There was one time when I was slapped in the face for pretending to be aggressive. I don't know how many times it's been. Does this guy like to pretend to be that much? Kakuzu. It should be said that people from the Uchiha family like to pretend to be aggressive, and they have been since Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara. HMPH. We call it self-confidence. But I have to admit, this kid is really pretending. After all, he doesn't have enough awareness of his own strength. Terumi Mei. But I can understand it a little bit. I thought I killed Orochimaru, but in fact it was because the other party had other schemes, and I thought it was intentional to lose to Sasuke. Grandma Chio. There is also the boy who exploded. After fighting with others, Chakra spent a lot of time dressing up, and he was almost killed together. These achievements made him have the illusion that he is strong for himself. Kakashi. Oh, Itachi, what are you thinking? I still can't understand you. Senju Hashirama. A child who was fooled by others. The crimes he committed are hard for outsiders to say, but obviously his clan cannot forgive him. Uchiha Fugaku. Of course. If it weren't for him, would our Uchiha clan have fallen to the point where we are now sparsely populated? Uchiha Hikaru. Uchiha Itachi is so dead. I'm waiting for you to come down in the Pure Land. Uchiha Iron Tree. Uchiha Itachi, how dare you continue to live? Die for me. 4th Raikage. If you look at it alone, it is a touching story of brotherhood, but one of the masters of the story is Uchiha Itachi, but it can't make me feel the slightest fluctuation. Exhausted, Sasuke passed out before he could feel much. When he woke up again, he found himself lying in a cave. Beside him is a campfire. A man with a mask sits by the campfire. Through the hole in the mask where the right eye is, Sasuke sees a Sharingan. This discovery immediately surprised Sasuke, but soon realized that this person was the Uchiha Madara whom Uchiha Itachi told him was still alive. Although it is only a guess, Sasuke is very sure. After discovering that Sasuke woke up, this person introduced himself and called himself Uchiha Madara. Then, the masked Uchiha Madara told him about Uchiha Itachi's life in detail. And the truth about the night of the genocide. After Sasuke heard that Uchiha Itachi had to sacrifice the entire Uchiha clan in order to save the village, but he could not do anything to himself, the hatred in his heart immediately shifted its target. That's Konoha's top brass, and everyone who forced Uchiha Itachi to make such a decision. At the same time, Sasuke also successfully opened Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Fugaku. F*K the truth. Uchiha Itachi is a beast. Deidara. Another guy who has been lied to. Is the Uchiha family so easy to deceive? Kakuzu. Judging from the videos I've seen so far, it's true. Orochimaru. It's okay for a person to be easy to deceive, but a person with great power being deceived in this way can have such a huge impact on the ninja world. Uchiha Madara. Just report my name directly, Junior. Jiraiya. Everything starts when Uchiha Madara is deceived by that mysterious Jew. Sasuke. Am I an idiot in the future? Believe me just by saying a few words? And is there no other way in the genocide night? Do I have to kill everyone? I won't forgive Itachi so easily. Onoki. Speaking of which, why doesn't Uchiha Itachi speak? I found that he has rarely expressed his opinion. Grandma Chio. Does he have the face to speak? After watching so many videos, I am afraid that he himself doubts whether what he did was correct. Fourth Raikage. HMPH. A stupid idiot who has been bullied to the door, but still finds fault with himself, deserves his death. Scorpion. Indeed, looking at it from the beginning to the end, it is obvious that the wrong party is the high-level Konoha who has done nothing or even deliberately suppressed it. As a result, Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Shisui did not want to change the high-level Konoha, but wanted to change the Uchiha clan. It is really stupid. Tsunade. The brain circuit of the Uchiha clan is indeed like this, which makes people puzzled. After learning what Uchiha Itachi did back then and his deep love for Sasuke from the masked Uchiha Madara, Sasuke changed his past, and the hatred in his heart did not weaken, but became more vigorous. But Sasuke did not inherit Uchiha Itachi's will to protect Konoha, but instead blamed Konoha for everything and planned to destroy Konoha. But now, Sasuke's own power is not enough to fight Konoha. In order to gain enough power to destroy Konoha, Sasuke did not hesitate to cooperate with Akatsuki. The order Uchi gave them was to let them go to Cloud Shinobi Village in the Land of Thunder to get 8 tails. Using illusion to control a Cloud Shinobi Village ninja, Sasuke knows where Killer Bee is. So he took 3 members of the team to a place called Yunlei Gorge to block Killer Bee. Sasuke didn't talk nonsense, and he directed his teammates to attack when he came up. But the 2 teammates were easily defeated by Killer Bee, who had to take the shot himself. But even Sasuke himself is no match for Killer Bee. Even though Killer Bee's 8 sword style looked extremely weird, it still severely injured Sasuke. If a few teammates hadn't arrived in time, I'm afraid Sasuke would have died in the hands of Killer Bee. This situation is completely different from Sasuke's calm and confident look before. When Sasuke recovered from his injury, the 3 teamed up to fight Killer Bee. Finally, with the joint efforts of the 3 of them, Killer Bee was controlled and hit hard. But looking at the ground that was smashed into a big hole, facing the missing Killer Bee, the 3 fell into silence. Obviously, what they dealt with just now was not Killer Bee himself, but just a clone of Killer Bee. The sensory ninjas in the team quickly sensed Killer Bee's position, so Sasuke immediately chased after him. Seeing that Killer Bee couldn't slip away, he could only put on a tailed beast coat and charged forward. Sasuke dodged Killer Bee's attack by virtue of Sharingan's dynamic vision, but Killer Bee didn't care and rushed directly to the rear team members. In an emergency, the team members dodged quickly, and Killer Bee crashed headfirst into the ledge they were on. The entire high platform directly fell apart under the huge impact. The Killer Bee attack didn't end there. He took advantage of the moment when the team members were unable to resist, and immediately threw them up and down. But Sasuke arrives just in time to activate Mangekyo Sharingan and use illusion to control Killer Bee. Killer Bee was restrained, unable to attack, and fell to the ground stiffly. Sasuke covered his eyes, panting heavily. But when he was about to look back, he saw Killer Bee appearing in front of him without any abnormality at all. A famous stunt, Lei Li's hot knife hit Sasuke's chest, directly punching a big hole in Sasuke's chest, not only the ribs, but also the internal organs. With such serious injuries, it's basically impossible to survive. But relying on the unique system of the team members, Sasuke was rescued with difficulty. And Killer Bee also showed the unique ability of perfect Jinchuriki, completely tailed beast. The huge 8 tails appeared in front of the team members, which made them feel the fear of despair. At the critical moment, Shueui used her last skill and blocked Killer Bee for a moment. But as soon as Killer Bee launched the tailed beast bomb, Shueui also entered a state of exhaustion. Until then, Sasuke realized that his strength was not very strong. But with the power of Mangekyo Sharingan, Sasuke subdues Killer Bee with Amaterasu. Afterwards, the four immediately left the system with the unconscious Killer Bee. The scarred Sasuke immediately took the team members to send Killer Bee to the Akatsuki organization. Afterwards, Sasuke shared his thoughts with Uchiha Madara. And bluntly, I will never forgive the 3 members of Konoha's top management, and those who don't know Uchiha Itachi's sacrifice, and wantonly enjoy the peaceful Konoha village. Looking at the Mangekyo Sharingan in Sasuke's eyes, Uchiha Obito disguised as Uchiha Madara knew very well that Sasuke's will was determined. Fourth Raikage. What? Killer Bee was arrested by these brats. I don't believe it. Jiraiya. Is this Amaterasu black flame so powerful? Even 8 Tails Jinchuriki can't resist it. Orochimaru. I didn't expect Sasuke to have such power, but it's no wonder, after all, this is Mangekyo Sharingan. Onoki. HMPH. Didn't he rely on the help of those teammates? Otherwise, this kid would have died several times. Luo Sha. If you are too arrogant, you will lose your self-awareness and think that you are invincible. This kind of person often does not end well. Deidara. It's a pity. Why didn't he kill Sasuke directly? I really can't bear to see his inexplicably arrogant face. Kakuzu. 8 Tails Jinchuriki. The strength is really strong. I always feel that something is wrong with losing like this. Black Soil. Sasuke killed Danzo after this, right? But it's a pity that Sasuke didn't kill the 2 scourges of Konoha. Scorpion. When I watched Naruto's video before, I seemed to see that the 2 scourges were still alive. Is it true that good people don't live long, and the scourge lasts for thousands of years? Tsunade. Those old people are really hard to die. Utatane Kaharu. Tsunade, what is your attitude? We are your seniors anyway. Grandma Chio. You said it as if you have even a trace of your predecessors, so the 2 shit-stirring sticks should stop yelling here, the air has become smelly. Hidan. Indeed, people like you are polluting the air even if you breathe it, you might as well die now. Terumi Mei. Don't you know how much you are hated now? You dare to speak here? I really don't know how to write dead words, do you? Zhang Guo Yugura. Look at those guys from the Uchiha family, they are very self-aware, they basically never speak up, and they also know that they are not popular. 8 Tails Jinchuriki is back. But when they started to seal and draw 8 chakra from 8 Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee, an accident happened. During the sealing process, the Killer Bee that was extracted from chakra suddenly turned into white smoke and turned into an octopus leg. Obviously, Sasuke was tricked. Killer Bee was not caught by him, but escaped by means of Golden Cicada escape. This suddenly caused a big oolong. The people in the live broadcast room immediately cheered up when they saw it. Deidara. Ha ha ha. Just want to catch Jinchuriki. I have caught one at least, and you still want to compare with me? It's delusional. Fourth Raikage. I just said my brother can't be this weak. Amaterasu is nothing at all. Onoki. What a big joke, is this the one who wants to take revenge on Konoha? It really opened my eyes, ha ha ha. Orochimaru. Sasuke is good at everything, but his brain is not so good, alas, I can't do anything about it. Tsunade. Ha ha ha, there is no way, after all, the brains of the Uchiha clan are not very good, otherwise it would not be possible to be deceived for such a long time. Killer Bee. HMPH, how could my lord be caught so easily? Of course it was my acting skills that made them fooled. Naruto. Since Killer Bee was not captured, where is the real Killer Bee? Scorpion. This. You have found your blind spot. Darui. No need to look, Master Killer Bee must have gone out to play. Jiraiya. I seem to understand why the 5 Cages tournament started. It happened to be the time when Pain attacked Konoha, right? Black Soil. 8 Tails is missing, and Konoha is destroyed. The threat of the Akatsuki organization has been put on the surface. At this time, most of the tail beasts have fallen into the hands of the Akatsuki organization. The 5 major countries will definitely treat the Shao organization very jealous. Terumi Mei. It's an interesting development. I have to say that this young man named Sasuke is really naive. He didn't check carefully whether the captive in his hand is real or not. Obviously, he himself used similar moves to deceive Uchiha Itachi. Grandmother Qian. Maybe the injury is too serious, and the head is confused. After all, the head is not very good. Although the capture of 8 Tails Jinchuriki failed. But that didn't affect Sasuke too much. Soon he learned an important piece of information from Uchiha Obito. Danzo. who Sasuke hates the most at present, and one of the 3 high-ranking members of Konoha, will soon attend the 5 Shadow Talks. Knowing this news, Sasuke couldn't sit still immediately. Rushed to the location of the 5 cages talks at the fastest speed, the Iron Country. Then, Sasuke broke into the meeting place of the 5 cages. And at this time, because of White Zetsu's tip-off, all the 5 cages knew that Sasuke had come here. 4th Raikage, who was eager to know the news of his younger brother, rushed down immediately. The strong strength immediately hit Sasuke hard. Even with Susanoo's protection, it couldn't bear the heavy fist of 4th Raikage. If Gaara hadn't stopped him, I'm afraid Sasuke would have been directly killed by 4th Raikage. Sasuke then rushed to the upper level, aiming directly at Danzo. But was attacked by Onoki and Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei used lava style to block Sasuke's leaving direction, while Onoki used dust escape to wrap Sasuke. Once the dust escape takes effect, Sasuke will turn into dust and disappear completely. At the critical moment, Uchiha Obito made a move and saved Sasuke. Sasuke was in a coma for a long time in Obito's Kamui space, receiving the treatment of Kyorin. When he came out of Obito's Kamui space, he saw Danzo in front of him. After relying on his own excellent strength and Danzo's incomprehensible actual combat ability, Sasuke finally killed Danzo, completing part of his revenge. And after that, Naruto and others arrived. Sasuke fought with Naruto for a while, and the two had some conversations in the spiritual space. Sasuke is tired of Naruto's entanglement. Then, Obito appeared, took Sasuke away, and immediately arranged for Uchiha Itachi's eyes to be transplanted into Sasuke's eyes. At this point, Sasuke has the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. After that, the 4th Ninja World War broke out. Sasuke found Uchiha Itachi on the edge of the battlefield. Surprised and uncertain, Sasuke immediately chased after him. And the brothers teamed up against Yakushi Kabuto of Sage Transformation and stopped the reanimation jutsu used by Yakushi Kabuto. After that, Sasuke rushed to the frontal battlefield with the 4 Hokages and fought with Tianwei. Then came Obito, and after that came a fully resurrected Uchiha Madara. But every time, he was the one who was beaten the worst. Even nearly died at the hands of Uchiha Madara. Sasuke would have died if Senju Tobirama hadn't used the forbidden technique to imprison his soul inside his body. In the end, after going through all kinds of battles beyond people's imagination, Sasuke and Naruto join forces, and Class 7 reunite finally seals the revived Otsutsuki Kaguya away. Just when the ninja world was about to return to peace, Sasuke felt that peace would never come without leaving a deeper lesson for the ninja world. So, Sasuke and Naruto who stopped him fought again in the Valley of the End. In this battle, both sides have no reservations. In the end, both of them lost an arm, and the Valley of the End was changed by the aftermath of their battle, the terrain. The 2 huge stone statues standing in the Valley of the End also shattered into pieces. Under Naruto's words, Sasuke finally let go of his thoughts. However, Sasuke did not return to Konoha in the end, but wandered outside, using his own way to protect the peace of the ninja world. And track down the whereabouts of the Otsutsuki clan. After some years, Sasuke married little Sakura and gave birth to a girl. But Sasuke still did not settle in Konoha, but continued to wander around the ninja world, looking for clues about Otsutsuki. Sasuke knows very well that the Otsutsuki clan will not let this go, and they will definitely come again at some point in the future. This is also some clues learned from Otsutsuki Kaguya when he was fighting Otsutsuki Kaguya. Another 10 years passed. Sasuke's children have grown up and are about to become a ninja. But Sasuke hasn't even seen his daughter a few times. Subsequently, Sasuke was entangled by Naruto's son, and died to become Sasuke's apprentice. Sasuke had no choice but to give a difficult condition. But Naruto's son, Boruto, showed amazing talent. He completed Sasuke's request in 3 days, learned Rasengan, and added the changes of lightning style to Rasengan without a teacher. But, also because of the special property that lightning style Rasengan can be invisible, Boruto mistakenly thinks that he has not learned Rasengan. And this invisible Rasengan also played a very special role in the subsequent match against Otsutsuki Momoshiki. It was several years later. At this time, Sasuke was already gray-haired, and he was sitting in the yard, watching the sunset. He wore an eye patch on his left eye, and his right eye looked extremely calm. Sasuke slowly closed his eyes amidst the slow rocking of the recliner. Experienced a rough and magnificent life. Finally, Sasuke closed his eyes and spent his long life. Afterwards, the video freezes and the picture gradually dims. The people in the live broadcast room quickly watch the second half of Sasuke's life. Can't help feeling a little emotional. Especially when Sasuke was accidentally attacked by Boruto and lost his Rinnegan. Deidara. Although it is a bit annoying, I have to admit that this guy's life is really wonderful, and he has experienced so many things. Kakuzu. In contrast, you died too early. Hidan. Ha ha ha. Lousy is immortal. I don't have your troubles. Scorpion. Are you an idiot? If I remember correctly, you were Impure World Reincarnation during the 4th Ninja World War. If you didn't die, how could you be Impure World Reincarnation? Sasuke. Has my life just passed by like this? I always feel a little uneasy in my heart. Orochimaru. Do you want to find the meaning of your own existence? Then come to me, and I will give you enough power to face the power of Uchiha Itachi. Kakashi. I won't bother you, I will educate Sasuke well, he will be my land, so I, the future master, naturally have to be a good example. Might Guy. Well said, Kakashi, worthy of being my opponent. Naruto. Then, can I go to Pervy Sage? I also want to become stronger quickly. Only in this way can I get the approval of the villagers. Jiraiya. Don't worry, I'm already on my way back to the village, wait for me, Naruto. Namikaze Minato. Please take care of everything, Master Jiraiya. Kushina. My child, I really want to watch you grow up, forgive mom for not being by your side. Ya. Don't worry, Naruto's mother, Naruto will not be alone with friends like us. Choji. Yes. We are good friends of Naruto, Shikamaru. What a hassle. Hoshigaki Kisame. Isn't this Uchiha Sasuke's video? Why are you all talking about Naruto? Isn't it weird? Onoki. I have to say that Konoha is really full of talents. Maybe it is because of the leadership of people like Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo that we can support until now. 4th Raikage. Hitaki Sakumo, Konoha Sanin, Namikaze Minato, Uzumaki Kushina, Kakashi, Might Guy, Hyuga clan, Inoshika Cho clan, etc. How could we have survived if Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo were not holding us back? Would spit with so many masters. Luo Sha. Not to mention that Konoha himself wiped out the Senju and Uchiha clans. Grandma Chio. Konoha used to be able to fight 4 with 1, but now Konoha struggles 1-on-1. Terumi Mei. Perhaps, for the sake of our respective villages, should we support Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo to continue to hold power in Konoha? Shang Guo Yagura. It's obviously not enough anymore. Konoha and even the whole world probably already know the faces of these two people. Even if we support them, can Konoha and the people of the country of fire continue to tolerate them? Fire Nation Daimyo. Hiruzen, it seems that we need to have a good chat. Konoha has so many talents. Onoki couldn't help but sigh with emotion. It's like the bamboo shoots that will spring up one after another. Kitu couldn't help but said. We're not bad, and we've got a lot of tall ones too. Onoki glanced at him, then shook his head and sighed, obviously not wanting to say more. They Iwagakure are indeed not without masters. But, apart from Han, Lao Zi disagreed with him and ran away, and that kid Deidara also defected. Compared with Konoha, which is full of talents, they are also far behind. Don't say anything. Let's see how Aike will change the Uchiha clan this time. Onoki didn't want to talk about this sad thing anymore, he just wanted to see if Aike would have unexpected tricks. In the screen of the live broadcast room, I waited quietly. After watching the boring video, the next step is heavy. Everyone is going to have to watch and see what Aike does and see if we can learn something from it. Luo Sha said with a serious expression. Around him, a circle of Jonin nods. Staring intently at the screen in the live broadcast room, Grandma Chio curled her lips and said, Aike's operation is something you can learn if you want to. If you can learn it, why would we, Sanagakure, be in such an embarrassing position? If you think about these things, it's better to think about how to win Aike to join us. Iwagakure is serious. As she spoke, she looked at Luo Sha and said, Your daughter is too young to be reliable. There are so many people in the village, isn't there any young and beautiful girls? Let them all pass. Go and protect them to reach Aike safely. As soon as these words came out, the men in the room collectively showed constipated expressions. Grandma Chiande's operation really trampled their dignity as men countless times. Originally, using a beauty trick could still be called a trick. But this group of beauties sent them up. What has become of their Sanagakure? Kiln. Even Luo Sha, who personally asked his daughter to 987, couldn't help it. This is impossible, he gritted his teeth and said. Grandma Chio said sarcastically. You still care about your face until now. You obviously don't have any face at all, but you still want face at this time? Since that's the case, then you don't want to keep Ache. Luo Sha was short of breath, but he couldn't speak. Because he had to admit that their Sanagakure really lacked the elements to attract Ache. Whether it is geography or human environment, etc., there are not many attractive places. But if Ache can be attracted, then Sanagakure's status will not only rise in a straight line, but Sanagakure's geographical environment will also be greatly optimized. After all, Ache knows wood style. As everyone knows, most of the forest around Sleepy Leaf was created by Senju Hashirama with wood style. As long as Ache turns Sanagakure's desert into a forest with wood style, their resources will become more abundant. This is the situation that could fundamentally change Sanagakure. Thinking of this, Luo Sha realized that Grandma Chiande's proposal was not a big deal. Compared with Sanagakure's plans for the next 100 or even millennium, what are some of their cheeks? Nothing counts. HMPH. The Uchiha clan is truly blessed. Fourth Raikage snorted coldly, expressing his dissatisfaction. Just this brat's crappy character, he was able to obtain such a powerful power in the end. It's just so unfair, Darui said with some envy. This kind of family who can awaken the Sharingan to gain strength after experiencing painful things without going through hard training is really very convenient. Why am I not from the Uchiha clan? She said with a sneer. Stop joking. Now is not the time to tell jokes. This kid should be looking for strength now. Master Raikage, can we? Fourth Raikage was silent for a moment, then shook his head and said. There should be no chance. Konoha's people are not all fools, and the son of Konoha's White Fang will not watch us take Uchiha Sasuke away. Now our focus is still on Ache, he is the most important person. She sighed and said. I don't know how Mabui is doing now. Fourth Raikage said with a full face of trust. I believe her. Since she said she would bring Ache back, all I can do is believe her. Sasuke, you guys' future is really exaggerated, you and Naruto are both. Kiba couldn't help but look at Sasuke with envy and hatred. Sasuke couldn't help but raised his head triumphantly and said. I'm a Uchiha, don't compare me to you guys, Teeth said bitterly. Now you don't have the strength in the future, you are similar to us. Sasuke glanced at him and said with a sneer. Only by you. Even if you add your pet, it's not my opponent. After all, Wei has already awakened the Sharingan. As he spoke, Sasuke closed and opened his eyes, and a blood-red Sharingan appeared, with a solitary jade in his eyes. The first to know, to have never tried, but he never expected that he would have awakened the Sharingan during the night of genocide. This immediately made Sasuke burst with confidence. However, Shikamaru next to him put his head in his hands and said. Do you think you are proud? Both parents died and you got angry? Didn't see that guy named Obito, just because Mr. Kakashi who blamed himself was injured and turned on. Guyu? Obviously the sadness in your heart is heavier. Why did you only awaken one hook jade? Sasuke was taken aback for a moment, and then looked at Shikamaru with a gloomy expression. Ino slapped Sasuke hard on the back of the head. If you can't speak, don't speak. Is this kind of thing something you can say casually? Shikamaru covered his head with his eyes wide open. Tianye didn't hold back at all. But, how could Shikamaru with super high IQ not know that such words cannot be said casually? But he still said it. The purpose is to combat Sasuke's inflated psychology. After all, Sasuke only has one gem now, and there is no way to compare his history with the one in the video. In this case, as long as the overinflated Sasuke meets someone who thinks badly about him, he will definitely not run away at the first time. If the enemy's strength is too strong, Sasuke may die young. But what about Shikamaru's good intentions? At least Shikamaru himself won't say it. After giving Shikamaru a lesson, Ino turned to his good sister and rival, Haruno Sakura. After the little Sakura saw that she married Sasuke and gave birth to a child in the back of the video, she fell into a nympho-like self-fantasy time, completely unable to be influenced by the outside world. This can't help but make Ino envious. She also likes Sasuke, but it is difficult for her to accept the fact that the person Sasuke married in the end is not herself. But I have to admit that Sakura, who has acted together as a class in the future, has a natural advantage over her. It's really cheap for her, Ino muttered helplessly. Huh? What did you say? Choji asked curiously. Ino suddenly said angrily. Eat your potato chips. Can't you keep your mouth shut with all these things? Choji looked at the potato chips in his hand seriously and said. Of course not enough. If you want to shut my mouth, you need at least 10 plates of barbecue Q. Ino couldn't help but rolled his eyes. Eat to death, forget it. Call. After solemnly announcing the candidate for Master Sasuke, Kakashi breathed a sigh of relief. For the troublesome Kakashi, it is obviously not his wish to take the initiative to solicit a troublesome thing. But Kakashi has to admit that Sasuke is too much like him. If you make a wrong step, you may step into the land of eternal doom. As an experienced player, Kakashi felt that he had to pull Sasuke at a critical moment.